The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll.
My name is Morton. I know.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. The weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot. Hotter than this is my shorts. I can cook things in it. Little crotch pot cooking.
The terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting.
Here's my idea for a sport. I knock a ball in a gopher hole.
Oh, you mean like pool?
Off pool. Not with a straight stick, with a little up stick. I whack the ball that goes in a gopher hole.
Oh, you mean like croquet?
Croquet. I put the hole hundreds of yards away. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
All right, then. Good morning. Welcome to the program. 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Celebrating Robin Williams today?
Yeah, it would have been 72 today.
He would have been 72.
One of the
Such a
greatest.
legend.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of the greatest.
How long's he been gone?
10 years? Well, maybe 2014 is when he passed.
Whoo-wee.
Yeah, close to 10 years.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was that long.
I never would have guessed 9, 10 years.
I was pretty shocked when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Until a couple of years ago, I always knew him as like the funny guy. I never saw any of his more serious movies.
Sure.
And I've watched some of them recently, and they're dark. I had no idea he could get that dark.
Oh, yeah, he could definitely. And unfortunately, that's how his life ended.
Yeah.
It's a little. When you watch those now, knowing that he took his own life, it seems even darker, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Seeing how sad he can be in some of those movies.
Throw me some of the more serious titles. I don't know that I ever took part in any of his serious stuff either.
Good Will Hunting, Dead Poet Society.
No.
Dead Poet Society, that one. Oh.
What Dreams May Come.
No.
Well, Good Will Hunting and Dead Poet Society, I wouldn't say he was dark in,
Well, no,
though.
they're just more serious roles.
Yeah, if you're talking about dark role, like World's
Darker-
Greatest Dad, I think it was called.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that movie messed me up.
Yeah, that movie would mess you up.
I missed all of this stuff.
So, World's Greatest, and I haven't seen it since it came out, but essentially his son passes away. I think it's from the hanging whack, if I remember correct.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
And he's a struggling writer, right? Robin Williams.
The hanging whack.
Yeah,
And
I
so-
know.
And he's embarrassed that his son went this way. And his son was a piece of garbage, right? And it was kind of a commentary. You know how sometimes when people die, all of a sudden they're the greatest human that ever lived?
Sure.
Even if they certainly weren't.
Yes. I've seen that gimmick played out, right.
So he starts writing from his son's perspective, and people are like, wow, he's an incredible writer, this son, right? We had no idea. So he becomes a popular writer in that regard, using his son's voice. It was dark. That one messed with me too, Ashley.
And like straight out the gate, too.
Yeah, they don't take too long.
No.
Yeah.
Well, but
Yeah,
you're going to have some issues from the hanging whack at some point.
Jesus.
It catches up to you eventually.
I need to cut that out. That's what my doctor's been saying too.
Well, you got to stop doing it in his office.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, cut this out, man. This is a doctor's office.
Man, well, at least you and your doctor get to have some interesting conversations. Mine's always busting my chops about vegetables.
Oh, here's
At
another
least
one.
you get to talk about.
Thank you, Brotherhood. 1 hour photo.
Yeah.
That was dark.
Okay.
And creepy.
I'm just sitting here scrolling through Robin Williams movies. Yeah, I never saw any of his serious movies, but you just named one. 1 hour photo where he played some kind of psychomaniac at the local pharmacy.
I knew one of those.
Other than that, I just kind of dangled with, I was more of a comedy fan, I guess, of Robin Williams.
He was a very good actor, but that's certainly where he shined. One of the best comedic actors. Great stand-up comic.
How about here's another one where he was the bad guy, creepy guy, messing with Al Pacino. Insomnia.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm not even familiar with that one. What happens there?
Insomnia is the name they hung on that one. Al Pacino was a cop, but kind of a dirty cop, and Robin Williams was a psycho. So they both weren't the greatest people in the world, and Robin Williams made every effort to make Pacino's life miserable.
And it takes place in one of those towns in Alaska where it only gets dark for like 40 minutes a day. So Al Pacino's not sleeping, so that's also messing with his mind, all the psychological stuff he's going through.
So I tried a couple of those more serious Robin Williams movies. I watched The Balls Off of Mork and Mindy.
My God, that was a good show.
And part of the reason I'll tell you right now is because of Mindy.
Yeah, she had something.
Pam Dauber was very funny and a gorgeous lady.
I was more of a Mork guy.
Sure.
But yeah, you're not kidding there.
All right.
I got to write that down. I was trying to think of shows I could watch with my youngest.
Watch more Mork and Mindy?
Yeah. Mork and Mindy.
Well, that was what put
There's got to be a Pork and Mindy, right? Like a porn parody.
Has to be.
Ah, damn.
Maybe we'll watch that one too.
Damn.
Double feature.
And like I said, I'm sitting here scrolling through Robin Williams movies. I didn't expect to talk about the man this morning, and it's been a while since I've thought about his career. Mork and Mindy's what put him on the map. And nobody had really seen comedic skills like that before, quite like that before. And I think up until Jim Carrey came along, there really was no one quite like Robin Williams. I kind of associate Jim Carrey with Robin Williams a little bit. I think they had a similar style, especially when they first hit the scene. They were just so bizarre, and they never sat still. And
so much energy.
The energy and their physical comedy was very original. So if you're a big Robin Williams fan, I hope you're not offended that I compare Jim Carrey's early days to... But now that I'm looking through these old movies, there's a couple that come back to me now. Comedies. I really love The Best of Times. He and Kurt Russell, 1986, where they play two guys in their mid-30s now trying to recapture their high school football glory, where Kurt Russell was a really terrific high school athlete on the football team. Robin Williams was the jerk that ruined their senior season by blowing it in the championship game. Anybody? Best of Times?
No, I never saw that one.
Very funny. Other than Mork and Mindy, what grabbed me when I was a young kid about Robin Williams was his portrayal of Popeye.
Dude, yeah.
1980.
Good memory. Yeah, he was good at Popeye.
Has any of the younger folks here seen Robin Williams as Popeye the Sailor Man?
No.
It is one of the weirdest just experiences I think you can have watching, at least these days, of course, there's so much. I should just say, at one point or another, Josh, maybe you'd agree with me, that was one of the weirder movies ever made. It's weird, the characters...
Because it's a kid's movie, too.
Yes,
it makes it more weird.
The animation, the setting of the movie is bizarre to look at. You have to see it to understand it, but he was absolutely... perfect. Who would have thought anybody could be Popeye the Sailor Man? You know what I'm saying? The cartoon character. Pretty hard, I think, for a live human being to properly portray a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And especially one as original as Popeye. That, when I was a kid, I thought that was so interesting because it is a kid's movie, like you were saying, Josh. But at the same time, it's creepy.
It is creepy.
It's bizarre. Shelley Duvall, was that her name? Shelley Duvall played Olive Oyl.
Notable Dick Jesus mentions Death to Smoochie.
Never saw it.
As one of their, I never saw that. Who was it? Bobcat Goldthwait? Was that his movie?
I know Edward Norton was in it. It's been about 20 years since I've seen it.
Check out Popeye the Sailor Man from 1980. If you're a Robin Williams fan, Ashley, I think. You called him a legend when we began this conversation?
Yep.
You got to watch Popeye.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Death to Smoochie, Danny DeVito, Ed Norton, Catherine Keener, Jon Stewart.
I hear you. No, never tried that one. All right. Well, what's the deal going on here today? Josh?
Yes.
We're going to go ahead and make today's show our final for this week.
It's today our Friday.
Yeah,
that
sure is.
rules.
Nice.
All of us can go out and have Saturday and Sunday to ourselves.
Sweet. Sweet.
Speaking of movies, you can run out and watch the Barbie movie or the Oppenheimer movie. I'm being told that Sunday's Twins game at Target Field, how do you say it?
Field, yes.
Where I'll be throwing out the first pitch is a hot ticket in town. Folks want to see that pretty badly. So let's just take Saturday and Sunday to ourselves.
That's responsible.
I'll likely have an overhang at that ball game. As I've mentioned, Saturday night, I'm dead set on seeing Tom Kiefer and L.A. Guns out at Medina F Me Running Ballroom, so I might be a little shaky out there on the bump.
And it's a 1 p.m. game, isn't it?
You're in trouble.
Meaning what? It's going to be hot?
Meaning you're going to be... you have to get up earlier than you probably want to on a Sunday and get moving.
Yeah, and 1 o'clock on most Sundays, I'm not doing jack squat. So, yeah, I got to get out to the ball field. I'm looking forward to it.
That is kind of funny. I mean, there's times where we're like, hey, you want to get up and play pickleball with us? What time are you going? About noon? You're like, no way.
Jesus.
On a weekend? That's way too early.
Saturday or Sunday, I roll out the sack about 9:30, and I don't like to do anything too serious for quite a few hours. So you're right. That is a little earlier than I like to be out and about. A Saturday night at Medina, I hope to see some of our derelict listeners out at the show. That would be fun. So, if I'm looking a little iffy Sunday out there on the mound, blame Tom Kiefer and L.A. Guns.
You know, that it is possible it gets done early. They're a little older at this point. They probably don't want to. They've been staying up late their entire lives.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to sleep in a little bit. Maybe they'll come and watch you throw out the first pitch on Sunday.
Well, I'll certainly invite them.
I think you should.
If I get a chance to talk to the boys. Later on this morning, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be in competition live on this year radio show. They go against each other every Friday morning in a trivia segment we call Dad Fights. Listen for that around 8 a.m., Randy and Brad. Back to this Barbie movie. The Barbie doll, a controversial character, don't you know?
Hey, I saw the Barbie movie yesterday, by the way.
You watched the Barbie movie yesterday?
Yeah, I went and saw it.
How the hell do you get to keep going to see these movies before they go out?
No, it came out yesterday.
Oh.
I wouldn't pay my money to go see it.
Oh, I thought it was tomorrow or something.
Like today's the official.
Official, yeah.
But a lot of times they'll come out on a Wednesday.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
so
or Thursday.
Yeah, so this was just, they had like 2 or 3 screenings yesterday of it. I went and saw the 3 o'clocker. I loved it. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
Well, tell us about it. What happens in the Barbie movie? I've been... not that it's been something that's weighed heavily on my mind, but how do you make a movie about Barbie?
So Margot Robbie is Barbie, the Barbie, and she lives in Barbie world with all the other Barbies and all the other Kens, and it's this fantastic world.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
There's more than one Barbie and Ken?
Yeah, so there's like, Space Barbie, President Barbie, Dr. Barbie.
Is that what was throwing you there, Wapple, too?
No, I'm just shocked. She's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world?
That's exact, just like the lyrics say in the song.
Okay, so the different character Barbies. Okay, keep going.
And they all interact in this Barbie world where everything's perfect, but then Margot Robbie starts to have this existential crisis.
She's the main Barbie.
She starts to have this existential crisis saying, like, what happens when we die? And people, we don't talk about that in Barbie world because that doesn't happen. So she ends up going to the real world to see what goes on in the real world and what's it like there, and then... It all just
wait a minute.
Snowballs.
So fish out of water type of a thing.
Right, yeah. So she's used to this idealistic world, and her and Ken are rollerblading through California, and guys are catcalling her and being mean to them and stuff.
I like this movie better when it was called The Little Mermaid.
I liked it when it was called The Brady Bunch. Right? I mean, the Bradys were this oddball. Remember the Brady Bunch movie?
Oh, that was fun.
Those were so good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you watched the show. It made it so much better.
These suddenly they were awakened to the real world. They lived in their own little... All right, well, so you liked it. It was funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. I mean, great performances. Will Ferrell's in it. He's great.
Oh, great. Jesus criminy. Can't that guy leave us alone for 20 minutes?
I feel like we can't have a movie without Kevin Hart, The Rock, and then, throw Will Ferrell in there.
No, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
They show up in everything. The Rock is going to be the...
Batista, too.
Batista.
Batista's in a few movies, isn't he?
Batista.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is reportedly going to be have the highest salary for an actor in a single film.
What movie is he doing where they're going to pay him the highest salary of all time?
It's an Amazon Prime movie coming out called Red One, and he's going to make $50 million.
Dude.
Wow. That's a cool payday.
Yeah. Finally catching a break, that Dwayne Johnson.
Right? The movie's called what?
Red One.
Red One.
All right. One tip, though, I would get, if you're a single dude, there's worse places to be hanging out this weekend than the bar at a movie theater.
The bar at a movie theater?
Oh, yeah, a lot of movie theaters have bars now inside.
Oh,
but, it was just the place, where, even for the 3 o'clock showing yesterday, just crawling with excited women in pink dresses going to see the movie.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
MOA.
Oh, I have a perfect dress for this movie, too. Now I have to go watch it in theaters.
The Barbie movie, positively reviewed by Dana. That's you could have given me 1,000 guesses. There's no way I would have said that. What's her name again? Margot Robbie played a certain Barbie, and all the other women in the town are also Barbie, but just a different kind of. There's no way I would have put that together.
Yeah, they all call each other Barbie. They say, "Oh, hey Barbie, morning Barbie."
All right, Christ. Now I'm not going to go see it.
No, I don't think it's for you, Nick.
Likely not. I'm glad you liked it, though.
Thank you.
I like that movie better when it was called The Lego Movie.
Oh,
I love the Lego movie.
That
never
was an awesome
saw
movie.
it. Let me guess. The
Everything
Lego
is
people
awesome.
all lived in their little world, and then they were exposed to the real world.
Yeah, and everything is awesome.
Yeah, everything is
Tuesday.
Chris Pratt. That's another guy that's in absolutely everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
And John Cena.
Oh yeah, John Cena. He's in. Is it Barbenheimer this weekend? He's in one of the movies.
He's in Barbie.
Oh, he's in Barbie. Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, Barbie.
What's this again now? You were telling us the other day that because everyone's going to see Barbie.
Barbenheimer.
And Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
They've combined the two, and this is Barbenheimer weekend?
It is Barbenheimer. Yes.
I like that Barbie movie better when they called it Encino Man.
I do like that movie.
Nobody likes that movie.
I liked it when I was a kid.
I liked that movie better when it was The Truman Show.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right. Let's just rattle through all the movies in history where the characters were convinced that the world only went this way, and then suddenly they're exposed to and they're totally out of place. They have no idea what, and people look at them. What's wrong with you?
There's another Barbenheimer that's going to happen in September.
Talk to me.
It's called Saw Patrol. That's the weekend of September 29th. Because Saw X and Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, both come out on the same weekend.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus Christ.
Barbenheimer has its own Wikipedia entry.
No way.
Yeah, it does.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
It's a thing.
Saw, the people that Saw still thinks they need to crank more of these effing movies out.
How was the Chris Rock one? Anybody?
I loved it.
Was it good?
It was really good.
Oh, people are saying they like the Barbie movie better when it was called Borat.
I liked the Barbie movie better when it was called Elf.
God damn.
Or Toy Story.
Beverly Hillbillies.
You can even throw Elf in there, too.
All right, don't say a word.
All right.
Oh, I thought you were
Or
talking
Beverly Hillbillies.
I thought you said Elf.
Maybe
okay.
that was on me.
You friggin' blew it, Wapple.
Yeah, Elf.
Let me tell you about these Barbie doll controversies from over the years, but maybe you guys know this stuff.
Well, there's one already about the movie.
What's the controversy about the movie?
That it's a kid's toy and it's not much of a kid's movie.
Oh,
and
people are angry?
Yeah, there's a group of parents who aren't happy that, isn't it PG-13?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a PG-13 movie, and they're saying, well, wait a minute, this is Barbie. This should be all ages.
Are there curse words in the Barbie movie?
A few, but nothing like major. But they do kind of deal with some adult themes like sex and private parts and that kind of thing. Or lack of private parts, I should say.
Wait a minute. The Ken dolls in town? None of them are packing?
No. All smooth down
You're
there.
effing kidding me.
They make a reference to it, or are you just joking about the actual
No, they
doll?
make references to it in the movie.
Well, yeah, so there's your first controversy.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I was reading about some parents that are pretty pissed.
Really? See, I mean, obviously, I'm aware of the fact that the Ken doll didn't have any gear, but I thought in the movies, at least, they'd hang some testicles and penises off the Ken character. They don't even give him a penis or testicles in the movie.
No, they make jokes about it.
That's not cool.
Not even when he goes to the real world?
Yeah, what about when he goes to the real world?
No, they never really got into that part. Whether like he magically had a dong or not.
Hey, check this out.
Parents are mad, huh, Cubby?
Some are, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Mopar Dad Jesus, a.k.a. Lake Street Taco Jesus, liked the movie better when it was called Big Backyard Girls 4.
That made Night Nurses 2 look like Crotch Capers 3.
Over the years, Barbie has been controversial. Just like me when I put my sunglasses on indoors, right, Josh?
Oh, man. It's intimidating.
Mattel got sued right from the get-go for allegedly is the word. Mattel got sued for allegedly ripping off the Barbie doll idea from a German company that made a doll called Build Lily. And the doll Build Lily was portrayed as a high-end escort. So in Germany in the 50s, they had this doll, and it wasn't for kids. It was sold in tobacco shops and adult toy stores, and wacky German dudes would buy Build Lily for bachelor parties or as gag gifts. She was a doll, but she was a hooker. The Mattel people found out about this, brought a few of the dolls back to the U.S., and then one thing leads to another. They released the Barbie doll 3 years later, and the folks in Germany sued them. Mattel ended up settling out of court.
I bet that was a big payday for them.
Oh.
There's a show on Netflix called The Toys That Made Us, and they do such a good job.
I know you've enjoyed that program.
Oh, it's great. The movies that made us too. I really liked it. So I left the Barbie one off I skipped that one, and then I had nothing to watch, and I thought, the rest were so good. At first I just went to the toys I was interested in as a young man.
Sure.
So I watched the Barbie one, thinking, well, it's something to watch. It was actually educational and entertaining.
Yeah, it was very informative. I liked it too.
Surprisingly so. So if you're looking for something to crush over the weekend, the Toys That Made Us, if you have Netflix, or the Movies That Made Us, I thought those were very entertaining.
Now, are you guys familiar with another character from, I guess, the Barbie world? Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbie has a younger sister named Skipper.
Yeah, Skipper. She created some controversy when she went through puberty.
That's exactly right. So over the years, Barbie dolls are selling well. Then in 1975, they decided to throw a new character into the mix, and that was Barbie's younger sister, Skipper. And they released a certain doll called Growing Up Skipper to teach kids about puberty. When you rotated the doll's arm, her boobs would grow and she would get taller.
They reference that in the movie as well.
And parents thought, I guess this was too much.
What if that worked in real life?
That'd be awesome.
With your boobs or your private parts? Hold on, I got something to show you. Just got to rotate my arm real quick.
That'd be cool. I'd love that.
Or even your height. You see Josh going down to the park to play some hoops, and he's rotating his right arm just to,
That's true. I'll be the last guy picked, which smacks true of real life. And then I rotate my arm, and all of a sudden I'm 6'7".
Yeah, you're a 6'8" power forward who can rebound. Slumber Party Barbie upset folks. Slumber Party Barbie. The doll came with pajamas, hair rollers, and a fun little book of diet advice that only said, don't eat. And I think that parents thought, well, that's promoting, what's the term?
Eating disorders?
Yes, Thank you. The doll also came with a scale that only went up to 110 pounds.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic.
Oh, man, but this was the 60s,
Yeah, that's so messed up.
We were pretty clueless on some levels back then. Eventually, Slumber Party Barbie became One Night Stand Barbie. Oh, my God. No, I'm kidding. It became Sleepy Time Barbie or something along those lines. Barbie had a friend along the way, okay? Her name is Midge. And Midge got pregnant. And in 2002, wow, that's not that long ago, they released a pregnant Midge doll. That didn't rub some parents the right way because they said it promoted, teen pregnancy. Midge had a husband and already had a child going into it. Now she's pregnant again with another baby. That was how the doll was sold. She had a wedding ring, so they were trying to push family values, I guess, to a certain extent. But, the real deep down hardcore family value people in this country thought it was just wrong that a pregnant young lady would be, and she already has it. How am I supposed to explain that to my kids, which is my favorite line in the history of all time?
By having a conversation with them?
Right. Oh, no way. Really? God, I never thought of that.
No thanks.
Yeah.
You can't tell us what to do.
Drives me nuts. Right. You're the adult. They are a child. If you can't handle this, we can't help you. And then rollerblading Barbie.
What's wrong with rollerblading?
Did you guys ever get into rollerblading?
Yeah.
No,
That
I'm
was
not
really
good at
big
it.
at my high school. Really big.
I fell once down a really steep hill, and after that, no.
I really enjoyed it, Josh.
I did too.
I didn't get involved in it until I was in my 30s, and I started dating a lady who enjoyed rollerblading. And so I went out and got a pair of blades, and I loved it. But we didn't see each other for terribly long, and that was I played roller hockey a couple of times, and that was fun.
Yeah, that's a blast.
Oh, I was dangling up and down.
I'm going to have a couple lame claim to fames here today. But number one, a buddy of mine, or two friends of mine got sponsored by, I think it was called Rosas. That was the alternative to rollerblade. And they actually might have started out together. I can't remember. They were sponsored by Rosas for rollerblading, and then they were in all these magazines. If I remember it, one was called like the Daily Bread. Anybody else remember that?
No.
It was kind of like a Thrasher, which was the skateboard magazine, but for rollerblading.
Thrasher magazine, yeah.
And by the way, if you said to them, "Hey, are you a rollerblader?" they'd get upset because they were an inline skater.
Oh,
yeah. Rollerblading was a gateway drug. It got me in. Yeah, it got me into scootering.
Oh,
really?
You were a scooter?
Like a razor scooter?
Razor scooter and doing tail whips and stuff like that.
Pushing yourself. You would think that pushing yourself along on a scooter would have been the starting point, and then you went to rollerblading.
No, because it kind of got you towards skateboarding a little bit more.
Only because, pushing yourself along on a scooter sounds miserable to me.
There was quite a rivalry between skateboarders, people who were on scooters, and inline skaters.
So you were a rollerblader for a while? I don't know if I ever knew that.
Yeah. Well, BMX biking was number one for me. I tried skateboarding, and that didn't go super well. I mean, I could do like a half pipe a little bit, nothing cool. Rollerblading I was better at. And so I remember these guys, I kind of lived vicariously through them. One of them was a former BMX racer and then went into inline skating. And so they were talking about like the skateboarders didn't respect the inline skaters because your skates are attached to your feet, right? So if you're doing a jump or something, you're coming down, your wheels are still there.
I'm glad I didn't get in the middle of any of that drama.
Oh, it got rough. And same like you mentioned, a tail whip. They're not impressed because you're holding on to a handle.
Yep. I remember, what was it? Brink came out on Disney Channel.
What's that?
It was like a rollerblading movie or inline skating movie, and they did like different competitions, and they had like vert competitions.
X-Blade versus Team Pup and Suds.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell either one of you are talking about.
The main character was real bro. Sup, dude?
Did anyone have a terrible rollerblading accident?
I actually had one last summer.
What happened now?
We had the week off. I can't remember what some summer week. We had the week off, and I was bored. So I'm like, I'm going to go get some rollerblades because I live right by the Greenway, which is this long running and biking trail. So I go and get some roller. I just go in and find some that look good at
You
Played Against
rented
Sports.
rollerblades?
No, I bought them at Played Against Sports.
bought
They
'em.
use Sporty Good Shop. And
Sure.
I get home and I strap them on. I'm like, I remember how to rollerblades. This will be great. And so I'm going down the hill to get on the Greenway. I'm starting to go pretty fast. I'm like, all right, better ratchet this back a little bit. Pull the heel back. No stopper. I'm like, oh, all right, stopper must be on the other one then. Roll back. No stopper on that one either.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going out of control, and I basically have to barrel roll into the side of the grass in front of other people. There's people jogging, running by. And are you okay? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I would love to see that.
Because if you spent any time on those rollerblades, you probably had a terrible crash.
Yeah.
I had one. We were circling around one of these wacky lakes in the cities. I can't remember which one. And, I was really cooking. And some hippie dropped his joint and his pet tarantula or something on the trail, Josh. And I had to throw myself, like Dana was explaining, I had to throw myself onto the grass in order to keep from running this individual over. I landed on, you know the scenes in the downtown lakes. I think I landed on some dude's acoustic guitar or something like that.
And there was an iguana playing it. I gave up skateboarding after my worst skateboard accident. We used to, when we take the bus home from school, there was a huge hill on the way. And so it was about 1.5 miles away from my house, and that's where we would get off the bus because we wanted to go down this huge hill in Minneapolis. And I got what was called the death wobble.
Sure.
Remember the death wobble?
Oh, yeah, dude.
My trucks were loose.
Word.
And so I thought, I'm going to pull out of this, but then the wobble became so severe.
Oh, no.
I ended up falling in the middle of the street, and my hand, there was nothing left of. I'm still picking asphalt out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was a bloody mess. It was terrifying. I mean, honestly, even one of my friends didn't want to go anywhere near me. There was so much blood coming out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knocked on this random house, the door of this random house.
Really?
And there happened to be a nurse there. She was a PCA for an elderly woman.
You were in bad enough shape you couldn't even make it home.
Oh, it was really bad.
Oh.
Honestly, it was bad. So thankfully, she was able to bandage me up enough to and call my folks so I could get to the doctor.
My
And that's
gosh,
something.
it's intense.
Back to rollerblading Barbie. That was a doll they threw into the mix. So in the 90s, early 90s, yeah, because that's when rollerblading was so hot. There was a problem with rollerblading Barbie. She was a fire hazard. When you skated her back and forth, her rollerblades would spark. You know, they thought that effect would be cool for the kids. But then there was a day, summers, 2 kids were playing with their rollerblading Barbie, and they were also playing with their Barbie beauty shop using a lot of hairspray on their Barbie dolls. And the kids were never seen again. They just went up in smoke. So they canned rollerblading Barbie at that point.
I remember I had a Tech Deck skateboard, and on the trucks, it had that too, where it would spark when you hit a certain rail.
A Tech
Really?
Deck
That's cool.
skate. That was at the little.
I had Tech Decks. I never had one like that.
It was like this certain special kind of Tech Deck. Like they came out with like a special edition.
Well, are those the ones
Spark and grind.
you used with your fingers?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Those were a blast.
Yeah, they were so much fun.
Here we go. Friday morning. Appreciate you coming around and listening to the program. Later on, Brad and Randy will join us for Dad Fights 100, I believe, plus 37. We'll have some fun today. We'll be back here shortly on the program.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Stupid news, huh? All right. I'm not in any hurry. God help us not again, Josh.
What happened? I don't even want to know. I'm nervous.
Not again. A lady got hit in the ribs by a meteorite again.
Oh, no.
You better get Harry Stamper and all the other stupid characters from that awful movie ready to go. We've got meteorite troubles. God, they were a ragtag group, weren't they?
They were. I liked it when I watched it back in the day. I know you didn't.
And they were all so different. One guy's a pervert, but also a genius. One guy's a lovable giant. One guy's a cowboy. And they didn't look like a group that could get the job done, right? But somehow they did.
They got it done.
I didn't give them a chance in hell.
I wonder if they could make that movie now, The Pervert, especially when he, the scene where he's sitting with the little girl.
Ooh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that one.
Am I making that up?
I don't remember.
Are you thinking of Con Air?
Oh, maybe Con Air.
They have it in Con Air, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was, Con Air.
Here's the deal.
I also like that movie, but I bet Nick didn't like that movie.
I don't remember. I'm going to go ahead and say never saw it, only a lot less.
Nick Cage doing a bad accent, up on an airplane with convicts.
Yeah, I know the deal. Okay. Never saw it. A woman in France was just sitting outside having a cup of coffee with her friend, and she got smacked in the rib cage by a meteorite.
That can't feel good.
No. That thing's been cooking for a while, right? It's fallen from
fast
300-400 feet in the air. Or she heard a big boom coming from the roof next door, and then she felt a shot to the rib. She thought it was an animal. She thought it was a bat. But it was a space rock that had fallen from the sky.
What are the odds? What has she done in the past to deserve such a thing?
After she got hit by the rock, I thought this part was kind of interesting. She took it to a friend of hers who is a roofer so he could take a look at it.
Wonder why they throw that in there.
Was her assumption that because he spends days slightly elevated, he might have more knowledge of what's happening in space? I mean, don't get me wrong.
Maybe she thought it was a part from the roof, or
Now, don't get me wrong. I hope no one's taking this as disrespect to roofers. I want to make it very clear that I would make the argument that roofers should be recognized as some of the greatest athletes in the world.
Mm-hmm. I would back that up.
Yeah.
Up and down that friggin'... And how do they get it done so fast?
I don't know.
Seriously.
Up and down the ladder with the big heavy things and the constant with the nail gun. Ga-gun, ga-gun, ga-gun.
I love that sound.
They're some of the greatest athletes in the friggin' world.
I had mine done a couple years ago, and I think I stood on my lawn too long watching these guys.
They're getting
to the
creeped
point
out.
where they're like, "What are you our manager all of a sudden?" I just sat there in awe. I tried to put some Christmas lights up on my house last year, and I gave up pretty quickly when I had to stand on the roof.
Absolutely. Then this gal showed the space rock to a geologist, and he said, "Yeah, you got hit by a meteorite. Damn, girl." According to NASA, who of course had their doubts about Harry Stamper and his crew back in 1998, they say almost 50 tons of meteoritic material is estimated to fall to Earth every day. But most of it is very small, or it falls into the ocean.
That's what they always say, right?
Yeah.
Those are the best chances.
The first confirmed case of a meteorite directly striking a person occurred in the United States about 70 years ago. Only 70 years ago. A gal named Ann Hodges of Alabama. Not the band. Alabama. The band, of course, is Teddy Gentry and Randy Owen, the late Jeff Cook, and then Mark Herndon on the drums. This gal was from the state of Alabama. She got hit by a meteorite. It was an 8-pound meteorite that crashed through the roof of her house back in 1954. She was all right, but it hit her. Jeez, it had the velocity, what's the term? I guess velocity is the term I am looking for, that it went smooth through the roof of her house. I guess it was the roof that saved her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder how much that slows it down.
Oh, imagine if she was in her yard. I imagine that would have gone just right through her. That's the story she tells.
You guys remember this one? 70% of the earth is covered by water. The other 30% is covered by former Viking cornerback and captain of the Bang Boat, Fred Smoot.
Yes, I do.
Remember that line?
I thought that was pretty funny when he said that.
Yes, I do. Then he'd go out on Sunday, and the opposition's number one receiver would get 288 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns.
That's pretty much how it would work.
Yeah, it was a funny line, but it proved to not be very accurate.
The only time that was different is if it was a Monday. That's the only change in that story.
Yeah,
where
right.
They do the same thing on a Monday night.
Speaking of accuracy, I'm going to try my best to be accurate here. Jump in if you have to, because I'm not wildly familiar with these concepts just yet. A couple in Tacoma, Washington is pissed off at the folks at DoorDash. This couple has cars pulling in and out their driveway for the last 2 weeks. In and out come the cars. And this started right when a new Popeye's chicken joint opened about 5 miles away from their house. So the problem is that DoorDash, tell me if I'm wrong, Josh, because I know you know the story. The problem is that DoorDash mistakenly listed their home address as the address for the Popeye's joint. Did I get that right?
Yeah, they pinned it as a Popeye's.
Oh, it's going to be so frustrating.
No. I have yet to have Popeyes. We just got one in Egan, and my wife, I'm not trying to start anything, she said it's better than KFC.
A lot of people do say that.
I've heard that too, yeah.
You've heard that? That is tough for me to believe. Now, I've never tried Popeyes, so no offense to Popeyes fans out there.
I had it once, Josh, and I believe it was in the year 1999. So I have no memory of what of whether or not it has any business competing with Kentucky Fried Chicken. But anyway, yeah, so I've had it once. It was a long, long time ago, but now they're everywhere, right?
Yeah, they are.
They're starting to pop up more.
I'm very loyal to KFC, though, and I don't think Popeyes has mac and cheese, and that's a big deal for me. So
that's what's going on at these folks' house. Popeyes, DoorDash mistakenly listed their home address as the address for the Popeyes joint. So the DoorDash characters are showing up to pick up an order and then turning right around when they realize, well, this ain't a Popeyes, this is somebody's house. They've contacted DoorDash multiple times about fixing this. And eventually the DoorDash folks said, our handling of this case fell short of the high standards we set for ourselves. We have now resolved the issue and reached out to the couple to help make it right. Make it right.
You know, it's nice that they said something to the couple and everything, but I think they overdid it a bit with the apology.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's cool. Mistakes happen. I don't know. They seem to take that one pretty tough.
You didn't have to make it sound like there was an accidental death in the neighborhood or something.
There's plenty of worse things that could happen.
So there you go. Anybody got $7 on them right now?
Yeah,
No,
I do.
No.
Yeah.
Ashley does. Dana does.
I got some cash on me, I think.
If you got $7, then you can go ahead and buy a bag of the all-new penis-flavored potato chips.
Great.
Or the Barbenheimer-flavored chips, if that's the way you want to go.
So flavored like that, not just shaped like it, but flavored.
Flavored is the word.
Wow, okay.
Nick, I know you probably aren't familiar with either taste.
No.
Would anybody try them?
No.
No, I'd rather not.
I mean, keep a little curious, I guess.
I'm not.
Which one do you go for first, or just surprise you?
Yeah, just taste it. I'll do a blind taste test.
Good call.
See if I can tell which is which.
A Lithuanian snack company called Chaz has just released a new collection, a new series of penis and vagina-flavored potato chips.
How stupid.
Imagine grabbing a fistful of those without looking. You know, what is that flavor? It's familiar. By damn, that's vagina, isn't it? Here's what the folks at Chaz say up on their website. They say both the vagina-flavored and penis-flavored, they don't use those words. They get a little more harsh with their slang terms, Josh.
Yeah, they do. Okay. A little on the gross side.
Yeah, they say both their vagina-flavored and penis-flavored chips are not meant for personal use. Sure, you can purchase and munch on them alone, but we've created this product to be shared. so they're trying to
Oh, okay.
make it a couples thing. I don't think they, maybe because they're Lithuanian, there was some trouble in translation. I don't think they meant to say personal use. I think they meant maybe
eat them alone.
Singular.
Individual.
That's the word, individual. This can be an awesome gift to your loved one or an open-minded friend with a great sense of humor.
What dip do you avoid if you're eating those chips?
All of them.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything red?
Well, anything
white.
Yeah.
Cheese would be fine.
You know, just go with the
dip.
flag colors. Anything blue. That's bad too. Look up blue waffle.
Oh,
don't
no thanks.
don't look it up.
Certainly not guacamole. And I'm not just saying that because I despise guacamole in general. But don't you think green would be the toughest color?
That'd be tough, yeah.
Oh, we could go through the whole series of colors. They also say, the folks at Chaz who made the penis and vagina flavored potato chips, this gift can help you send a straightforward message that you are free of inhibitions and ready to have open conversations about sex. When given to a romantic partner, it can act as a clear invitation not only to indulge isn't a word. When given to a romantic partner, it can act as a clear invitation not only to indulge in oral sex, but also to explore all other avenues that lead to maximum pleasure for all parties involved.
Hey, baby, I thought we'd spice things up tonight. Shh, open up a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Trying to just sexily put one in her mouth.
Did you guys know this? By the way, Chaz isn't done talking. But on a side note, also some information here in this article. Nowadays, young people are 3 times less likely to have sex than their parents did at the same age.
Yeah, it's that and alcohol are down.
Young kids these days are 3 times less likely to have had sex than their parents did at the same age. Do you want to talk at all about the taste of these chips? I mean, some of you are familiar with the tastes of both.
I don't know. I mean, I do, but I don't know how that would go over with corporate.
Right. Fair enough. But it's a real thing. Real thing, I guess. Penis and vagina flavored potato chips. All right. A young kid pert near choked to death during his family's silly little live on TikTok gender reveal gimmick. This was a family over in Michigan. Peg and Nick are the grown folks, the parents. They posted the video last month with their young sons, Adler and Everson. Jesus Christ with the names these days.
Everson's cute.
No, it's not.
I've never heard of Everson.
No.
As a name.
I knew an Everson.
Emerson. Oh, you did?
Yep.
Like, how old were you? Or how old was this person?
High school.
Oh, okay, so that long ago.
Everson Walls won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. He was a defensive back. When they beat the Buffalo Bills, when Scott Norwood pushed that field goal wide of the, you know what I'm talking about yet?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Everson Walls was the starting cornerback for the New York Giants. In the video, this family can be seen holding white cupcakes that, when bitten into, will reveal the sex of the family's new baby. After taking a bite, the 4 of them cheer when they see something that indicates that it's going to be one of those girls. But then the one kid, Adler, I don't know, he looks 11 or 12 years old, he starts choking on his damn cupcake.
I feel bad for him because the screenshots were going around.
Oh, no.
Oh, they're bad.
I mean, he's coughing. You can see he's trying to force something down. The poor kid can't breathe. Nobody's paying attention. They're all gathered around mom playing up this nonsense for the camera. He turns to the family for help. Eventually, he's able to force down whatever was about to choke him out.
Poor kid.
A lot of folks on
must have been
TikTok,
terrified.
they said right. A lot of people on TikTok said they felt bad for laughing at this kid.
Well, I mean, the picture does look funny, but geez, are you looking at it now? Yeah. He must have just been so scared. Oh, that poor kid.
The gender reveal bit. You know, some of them go sideways. Did we ever see this one or talk about this one, Josh? In June, a mother-to-be went badass crazy and destroyed her entire gender reveal party when she found out that she had a little girl bun in the oven. She flipped over tables. She smashed all the decorations. That's awesome. I wish I would have seen that one. She must not have wanted a girl.
Yeah, can you imagine finding out? Everything's on video nowadays, but this little girl, when she's aware.
Yeah.
That would be, that devastating.
She finds the video when she's older.
Yeah, you can't really walk back from that one.
No.
By the way, I'm an idiot. I forgot about Everson Griffin. I have heard of an Everson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't know how I forgot about Everson.
Tell me who Everson Griffin is.
Former defensive end for the Vikings.
Oh, sure.
Wait, he's former. Yeah.
This next poor bastard here in the stupid news damn near choked to death on a car key. He accidentally swallowed his own car key. Damn, man.
That ain't good.
This was a fellow way on over there in Saudi Arabia. He had to go ahead and have emergency surgery to unblock his airway. It says he accidentally swallowed his car key while he was playing with it. He didn't give any more information on what exactly he was doing. He's probably too embarrassed to go any further with that. But the medical team at the local hospital saved this guy's damn life. The doctors gave him his car key back after they kicked it loose. Old key neck here. He was hospitalized for a few days to make sure there were no complications. Oh, man. I again, kind of like that. What's the gimmick again with the baby? We were just
gender reveal?
Kind of like the gender reveal. I wish I would have seen the video where the lady came uncorked and destroyed. I wish I would have seen this guy horsing around with his car key and then...
Have you guys ever accidentally had something like that happen to you?
No.
I have.
Yeah, what happened?
I was holding a guitar pick in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And I almost ingested that thing. Now, obviously, I could have handled that a lot better than a key, I would think.
Oh.
But that's a couple moments of
All
fear.
I can tell you is when I was a little kid, I swallowed some plastic bullets from my toy gun.
On purpose?
No, that was accidental. I was a little kid, though. You know, we all fired something down we weren't supposed to. When we were little, I swallowed these plastic bullets on accident, and then my mother had to sift through my poop to find them.
A buddy's mom had to do that when he swallowed some Legos. He got in some trouble, and then he did it again.
Oh, nice move, kid.
He did it again.
Plenty of stories go around about people who accidentally swallow their toothbrushes and their grills, but this might be the first key, at least for a grown person, that we've dumped into the stupid news. I bet that was fun to watch.
That's less embarrassing than, it could have been something more embarrassing, I suppose, of things that get stuck in the human body.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody been to a gender reveal party with how popular they are?
Yes.
Odds are on Dana.
No, I've never been to one.
You haven't? Mm-mm. You have, Ashley?
Yes.
In any danger
No, they
there?
just popped like a balloon.
Oh,
It was
okay,
cute,
gotcha.
normal. Yeah.
Even if you had one, Josh, I'd refuse the invite.
I'd never. Well, I would know enough not to invite you, and I can't imagine having one.
Now, we were talking earlier about how everybody's lost their mind over the Barbie movie.
Sure have.
Which comes out or is already out or something. This sounds pretty creepy and dangerous with everyone, wetting themselves over the new Barbie movie. A plastic surgeon in Long Island, New York is offering a dream surgery, he calls it, that will transform folks into a damn Barbie doll if you hand him $120,000 in trade.
Wow.
Oh, that's cheap. That's fine.
This is offered by a guy called Scott Blyer, Dr. Scott Blyer. He'll dump a facial surgery on you. He'll set you up with a, quote, classic Barbie hairdo. He'll paint your nails pink for you. He'll give you some teeth whitening. There's also a male or Ken version of this that involves full-on penis and testicle removal. He uses a kendo stick and some sulfuric acid. No, I'm kidding. For the Ken doll, he will liposuck you. Body liposuction. 6-pack etching like Chris Jericho does. He'll move some of your fat into your chest, okay, so your pecs look bigger.
Yep.
He'll crack your jawline open, cheek filler, all of that. Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
It's like I got
Nothing
plans
could
this
go
weekend.
wrong.
I wonder how much he charges. So he mentions he paints the nails. What do you think how much of that 120 grand goes to that? Or teeth whitening? You could do that on your own as well.
True.
I know somebody who you ever hear of that product where you strap these teeth whitening stickers onto your teeth and you let them sit there for 20 minutes.
The Crest white strips.
Do they work?
Yeah, they work really well.
I know somebody who fell asleep with those in their yap and slept about 8 hours.
Oh, I bet they were so gunky.
And they woke up the next morning. They said it felt like they had gone down on a nuclear weapon. It was just
yeah.
Bison in the Basement Jesus, on the topic of swallowing stuff, had an experience recently at the dentist. He was being fitted for a crown. He was laid all the way back, and they accidentally dropped the crown into his throat, went back to his throat. He almost swallowed it.
Oh. So here's the deal. You can go ahead and end up looking like Barbie. If you sign up for this, or Ken, if you sign up for this, both men and women get chauffeured. How do you say that, Josh?
Chauffeured?
Both men and women get chauffeured to and from the doctor's office in a pink Corvette.
That's fun.
He's funny, too, this doctor. He said, you walk out looking as close to Barbie as we could possibly do. There is some assembly required.
What if you get done and you look in the mirror like, no, I wanted the Ken, not the Barbie, not the Barbie.
Somewhere's in here, he mentions labiaplasty for women. I guess he's trying to get gals to sign up for that, too.
I wonder if that's...
Can I even read what he says here about labiaplasty?
Probably not.
All right.
I mean, read the part about how he says they can look.
I'm just going to read the part about what the doctor says about how a vagina can look.
Yeah, when they're done.
Yes. When it's done?
Yeah.
Oh, when it's done, your vagina will look cute. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's not never been a goal of mine, but...
If a guy saw yours and called it cute, would you find that weird?
No, I take that as a compliment.
I think I've called a vagina cute before. Yeah.
How about a doctor?
Oh.
No, that's weird. I don't want them, yeah.
The story here talks to a couple Barbie psychomaniacs, super fans who are all about this garbage. They're signing up to be hacked into pieces so they can look like Barbie. And we mentioned this real quick yesterday, but in case you were cutting a deuce or something and you missed it, the Barbie movie required so much pink paint to make the movie, it contributed to a worldwide shortage.
It's a very pink movie.
You did enjoy it, you said?
Yeah, I loved it a lot. It was a lot of fun. A lot of laughs.
It says here in the movie, Barbie Land is almost entirely fluorescent pink. The house she lives in, the roads, the lampposts, the pink crayons.
Pink crayons.
Specific.
That's a dog joke, actually.
So they use so much of this. They use so much pink paint that the world ran out of it. So there you go. I'm not sure if I'm buying it, but the good news is I couldn't possibly care less.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Got him! And the Twins in Seattle win back-to-back ball games.
Wow, that was dominant right there. 104 all day long.
That was a couple days ago when the Twins beat the Mariners. Jarron Duran, the Twins closer, set some kind of a record for fastest pitch he's ever thrown or anybody's ever thrown. I can't keep up with this because ever since they started, so meticulously tracking pitch speeds, it seems like every couple of hours someone, hits some new mark. But what do you throw? 104?
104, yeah.
It's unbelievable. The dude is truly, I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's hard to keep up with all these pitchers throwing these insane speeds. But Duran, he can sling it. 5-0. 5-0. That's how the Twins closed out their series in Seattle yesterday. They got shut smooth out, 5-0. George Kirby, the starter for the Mariners, and Seattle's bullpen, they were terrific. Now, after a series split, the fellas come home for a series with the Chicago White Sox, featuring Sunday's game starting at 1 o'clock, where I'll be throwing out the first pitch.
Woo.
Oh, the crowd, everyone in town's talking about it. And the crowd is supposed to be off the charts. Hey, by the way, if you want to check out special Twins ticket packages for the dock in right field, I hear that's a hell of a deal. Sections 136, 137, and 138. You get a T-shirt celebrating the Land of 10,000 Rakes bit, which a bit that I like quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a cool-looking shirt, too.
The dock.
Is this the where they're doing just on weekend games? It's a kind of a special weekend
Friday,
promotion?
Saturday, and Sunday kind of a thing, from what I understand, Cubby. Yeah, Twins and White Sox to start their series tonight at Target Field. We got plenty more to cover at 7:30 with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Going to have a dad fight. Real quick, if you don't mind, I almost forgot to address these text messages. We were talking earlier. This is revolutionary, maybe is the word. There's a Lithuanian snack food company or something like that who are coming out with vagina and penis-flavored potato chips. We were talking about it in the stupid news.
Seems like a Gwyneth Paltrow thing. I bet she's kicking herself that she didn't release this with their company.
That's a great point. One listener tells me that he's going to put these chips out at his fantasy football draft party.
That could be fun, yeah.
And we were talking about, I don't know, maybe you won't, maybe you'll like the taste, maybe you won't like the taste. One other listener says, if you don't like the taste, just do what we've always done and slather them in whipped cream. That's what we've always. Randy and Brad dad fights in about a half hour. Josh's news is next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
My heart is beating and I'm shaking thinking about it right now. It just sounded so much like her, enough to almost give me a heart attack from sheer panic.
A Georgia mother said scammers used AI to recreate her daughter's voice and make it seem as if she was kidnapped by three men. Three men who said they were holding her ransom for $50,000. Debbie Moore received a phone call from a number that had the same area code as her daughter Lauren's phone. As she answered, Lauren's voice was heard on the other end, but it wasn't her daughter calling.
By this time, the man had said, "Your daughter's been kidnapped. We want $50,000. Then they had her crying, "Mom." So I'm like thinking she is in the back, because he said we have her in the back of the truck. All I was thinking was, how am I going to get my daughter? How in the world are we supposed to get him money?
Moore's husband overheard the phone call and decided to FaceTime Lauren, who they were able to reach. She said she was safe and rather confused about the call. That made the parents realize they were the targets of a scam. After being reassured Lauren was safe, Moore and her husband, who works in cybersecurity, called police, and they sent officers to check up on the daughter. While Moore said she's aware of most tactics used by scammers, she was unprepared to hear her own daughter's distressed voice on the phone.
I'm very well aware of scammers and scams, but of course when you hear your daughter's voice, you're not going to think clearly and you will panic.
In March, the Federal Trade Commission warned about the rise in AI-based scams and told the public to be wary of unknown phone numbers calling with what sounds to be a family member on the other end of the line.
What the hell's wrong with people, Josh?
I don't know. That's terrible.
It's so messed up to use that.
The story of Carly Russell, a 25-year-old nursing student who alleged she was kidnapped in Alabama last week while trying to help a toddler on the interstate, and then her mysterious return home, have captivated national attention. But law enforcement officials are now saying she may not have been abducted at all, and there's no evidence of a lost child. Yeah, it's a strange one.
This is just one of those, please notice me, I want to be infamous or famous kind of a thing?
It appears that way.
Oh, God.
July 13th, after leaving work for the day, Russell called 911 to report a lost child in a diaper wandering along the side of the highway.
I think it's a boy, a little boy. Right now? Okay. Is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white T-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper.
Traffic camera footage showed Russell pulling over and exiting her red Mercedes, but by the time police arrived 3 minutes later, she disappeared. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance remained a mystery, with police releasing little information at first, besides that they had no other calls about that missing child.
Carly's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time.
Just before 10:45 p.m. Saturday, 49 hours after she first disappeared, she returned home on foot, ending a 2-day statewide search. Then Sunday, she gave investigators her account of what happened. She told them a man came out of the woods and told her he was checking on the child and then forced her over a fence and into a car. The next thing she could remember, she said, was being in the trailer of a truck with a man with orange hair and a woman while hearing a baby crying. She further alleged the man and woman took her to a home and took photos of her while she was undressed. Before she claimed she was able to escape and run through the woods to get home. Since she's returned home, law enforcement officials have been unable to verify any of the details of her allegations, and the U.S. Secret Service analyzed her internet search history, finding results that seemed awful strange.
Detectives continue analyzing data from Carly's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 13th, the day of her disappearance, the term, how to take money from a register without being caught. A search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. A search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction. And I do think it's highly unusual the day that someone gets kidnapped, that 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very strange, yes.
Police said the events surrounding Russell's disappearance and subsequent return home continue to be under investigation.
What a dummy.
Jesus criminy.
Actually watches the movie Taken. No way.
Well, you're reading into things, Ashley. A Missouri teenager called a hoax bomb threat into the Ford assembly plant Tuesday with the hopes that his coworker could enjoy an early night off from work.
That's nice.
Yes. 19-year-old Zachariah Peterson allegedly called the factory security team just before 5:30 p.m. with a fake warning.
It is a crime to communicate a false report involving the danger of life for the purpose of causing an evacuation. When someone makes a call like that, they pull law enforcement officers away from their duties, keeping our community safe.
Peterson, who used a phone app to disguise his voice, didn't identify himself, but claimed he was an employee who would start firing if his 2,200 colleagues were not immediately evacuated. He stated he wanted the plant to be evacuated and everyone to go home for the night.
He claimed to be armed with explosives, a rifle, and a handgun, and also expressed that he was disgruntled with his job. Ford shut down production and evacuated the plant. We deployed our special tactics and response team. We had some indication that the threat might not be legitimate, but we couldn't rule that out at that time.
Investigators had a suspicion the threat was a hoax, but they had to investigate. Took 6 hours for more than 100 officers from numerous law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, to completely search the factory. They tracked down Peterson 4:30 a.m. Wednesday inside his home, where the teen allegedly admitted to calling in the bomb threat and said he got the idea from a video game.
I mean, you got to be one of the dumbest sumbitches in town to think that this is going to work, or you're going to get away with it.
He wanted to go home early.
That's absolutely incredible.
The suspect stated he understood what C4 was and he played Call of Duty. Peterson's probable cause statement reads, despite admitting to making the call, he claimed his innocence in court yesterday. Not guilty because I was forced, he said. The 19-year-old did not elaborate on that claim.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what he has to say next.
A Deltona, Florida couple and their roommate were victims of a fake 911 call, which led deputies to believe they were involved in a murder hostage situation. Police responded about 10:15 p.m. Monday after receiving a call from a man who claimed to live at the residence. The man said he had just shot his wife and planned to burn the house down with his children inside. Upon arrival, deputies removed one of the residents, a 23-year-old man, from the home before conducting a search. Around that time, 2 other residents, a 22-year-old man and a 21-year-old woman, returned to the scene when police were surrounding their home. After conducting a search, deputies determined the home was empty and everything the caller had claimed was false.
Whoever this is clearly has a dark sense of humor and a dark mind, so that's very scary.
It's like I almost died for nothing. I was terrified for the basic fact of, like, if I even break a branch wrong, I'll get shot.
Deputies said the couple believed they know who may have made that call.
We definitely want to get this person and get them in trouble and hold them accountable for what they did to us, because at the end of the day, we're the victims. We're suffering from this.
As of press time, no arrests have been made.
I got to be honest with you, Cubby. I'm getting pissed off over here.
Well, it's not going to get much better. A Florida mother was arrested Tuesday after trying to use a parody service to rent a hitman to kill her 30-year-old son.
You're still doing this.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did I say 30-year-old son?
Yeah.
I meant 3-year-old son.
Oh.
18-year-old Jasmine Paez allegedly solicited an assassin through the fake website rentahitman.com, which we've become very familiar with here at 93X, to take out her 3-year-old before the end of the week. Investigators, posing as the for-hire killer, spoke with Paez, who allegedly agreed to hand over $3,000 for her son's murder. The child's mother was arrested later Tuesday at her father's house where she'd been staying. The arrest report states that she confessed, but the full statement was redacted when released to news organizations. Investigators said the man who operates the fake murder for hire site was the one who tipped them off. In fact, the site has led to dozens of arrests. Just 2 years ago, a Michigan woman admitted using the site to hire a hitman to kill her ex-husband for $5,000. And since 2018, at least 120 people from New York alone have turned to Rent a Hitman to remove others in their lives. The site is filled with numerous jokes, such as false testimonies and funny advertisements, which should be dead giveaways to viewers that aren't stupid. Dummies, however, continue to flood the site's inbox with solicitations, even as the site hands high-profile, well-publicized arrests over to the cops.
Now, this is a morbid question, and it's completely hypothetical, but it fits within the context of this conversation. Who the hell needs a hitman to kill a 3-year-old?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. She didn't even live with the kid. How much was it affecting her?
Maybe the 3-year-old is on like Stewie Griffin's level. So like you need extra help for that kind of stuff.
Maybe he knows karate?
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know how you get in a mind like that.
Maybe he knows karate.
I'm not messing with the toddler that knows karate.
Oh, God, no.
Dude, no.
3 days before the start of training camp, Minnesota Vikings first-round draft pick Jordan Addison was cited early yesterday for speeding and reckless driving after a state trooper clocked him at only 140 miles an hour in a 55.
What the hell's the matter with this kid?
He had someplace to be. The State Patrol said the 21-year-old rookie wide receiver was pulled over in a Lamborghini at 3:07 a.m. on Highway 94 in St. Paul, a mile outside of downtown. He was selected out of USC with the 23rd overall pick in the NFL draft. The Vikings said they're aware of the situation and gathering information. He and the rest of the Vikings rookies are scheduled to report to training camp this Sunday. Another Vikings receiver made the highway headlines this year, but in a much more redeeming way. In March, fourth-year wide receiver K.J. Osborne helped rescue a man from a burning car that had just crashed in Austin, Texas.
What's this new guy's name with the 140 and a 55?
Jordan Addison.
Let me tell you something, Jordan Addison. It's 3 o'clock in the morning on 94.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Addison. That's when my guy Cubby is on the friggin' road.
And it was right by, I drive right by there.
If you take out Cubby because you're trying to look cute in your new car, you and I are going to have a serious effing problem.
140 and a 55. Bruh. There's a couple notable new releases in music this week, including Greta Van Fleet with Stargazer.
This guy learned to sing even higher than he did on the last record.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do that if I was being pinched. That is a high register.
Jeez.
Also out this week, Blur with The Ballad of Darren. What's new in music each week can be found on the 93X Notable New Releases post every Friday on 93X.com. With two of the biggest movies of the year debuting in the same week, the weekend has been dubbed Barbenheimer. The theatrical counter-programming turned into a major cultural moment as the two wildly divergent films are being released simultaneously to widespread interest in both. The name even has its own Wikipedia page. We begin with the movie based on the iconic toy of the same name. The big screen adaptation of Barbie is now in theaters. Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get a chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans. Barbie stars Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Will Ferrell, Michael Cera, Kate McKinnon, Rhea Perlman, Anne Hathaway, Helen Mirren, and John Cena. And, of course,
John Cena, for God's sake. I got a text message from a listener earlier that said, I'll watch Margot Robbie do about anything, but this is where I draw the line.
No, there's no line with her.
And, of course, it would not be Barbenheimer without Oppenheimer, also in theaters this weekend. It's about a physicist who creates the only atom bomb bigger than last year's Black Adam, starring The Rock. The film stars Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt, Rami Malek, Gary Oldman, Casey Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Kenneth Branagh, and former NHL star Sean Avery.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, for God's sake.
He's been in a few movies. I looked him up because I had to double check. I'm like, is that the guy from the NHL? And here we go.
I'm glad I've missed his prior movies so far.
Today's Josh Hartnett's birthday today, by the way.
You and him have been mistaken for each other quite often.
Yeah, it's weird. It has nothing to do with the first name. It's more looks, charisma, that kind of thing. A lame claim to fame, my wife's former high school classmate, Josh Hartnett.
Nice.
45 today.
That is not right.
Now streaming on Netflix, Jamie Foxx in They Cloned Tyrone. An eerie series of events leads to an unlikely trio down a rabbit hole into a sinister neighborhood conspiracy. Also out this weekend on Apple TV Plus, Stephen Curry Underrated. It's described as the coming-of-age story of one of the most influential, dynamic, and unexpected players in basketball history. It includes his rise from an undersized college player to a four-time mouth-guard-chewing NBA champion. Streaming on Sunday, the highly anticipated Paramount Plus debut of Taylor Sheridan's Special Ops Lioness. It's about a woman who tries to balance her personal and professional life as the tip of the spear in the CIA's war on terror. Special Ops Lioness features some big-name stars, including Zoe Saldana, Nicole Kidman, and Morgan Freeman. Also Sunday, the first season finale of The Walking Dead, Dead City on AMC. Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash, 58 on Sunday.
Well, sure.
36 years ago on this day in 1987, Guns N' Roses released their debut album, Appetite for Destruction. In other Slash news, the top hat-wearing guitar legend is working on a blues-oriented album. It'll feature a bunch of different singers, including Demi Lovato. She'll be a part of that.
Nice.
Demi Lovato.
Also Sunday, Woody Harrelson, 62. Tomorrow, David Spade turns 59, and the Eagles' Don Henley will be 76.
Dude.
As I mentioned, Josh Hartnett, 45 today. And this guy can make me laugh with just a look. Comedic genius John Lovitz, 66. Best of luck to all sack, no shaft Jesus heading to St. Cloud for some treatments today at the VA. We want to send our sympathies to the friends and family of Alan, who will be missed dearly. We learned he just passed. His friend Jared sent that in, so our sympathies to you. Shout out to Hawaiian Punch Jesus having a tough day at work. Happy birthday to Xander from Dad, Ryan. Happy birthday to Groob Cakes. Happy birthday to longtime listener and good friend of the show, Sits on Baby Jesus. Happy 56 on Sunday to Magic Playing Machinist Jesus. Happy birthday tomorrow to Schmidt Beer Jesus from Chicken Nugget Jesus. Happy 50th to Eric from I Hate Ketchup Jesus. And a wedding day shout out to Jeff Sis Jesus and his beautiful bride always driving Jesus. That's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Wearing masks and robbing people in these back streets.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Beat the freeze. They give the contestant a head start, and then watch this guy in the freeze suit.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
The freeze looks like he might go down. No, his opposition went down. Oh!
He looked back, and that was it.
Oh, it's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife.
You have one chance to beat the freeze, and you might have broken your glasses.
Yeah, he didn't even see the finish.
Tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming. Freeze in hell!
Wheel in the old timers. It's Friday. We've got a fight scheduled. This is going to be a hell of a deal. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you see the video
Yes.
The Freeze.
It's up on 93x.com.
We were just talking about the Freeze.
It's so good.
It's pretty good.
The Freeze.
Just missed it by that much.
The glasses go flying.
That's so sad.
The Freeze is a character at Atlanta Braves home games. He'll race. He'll have a foot race with a fan, and he absolutely murdered the pride of another mere mortal human being. This poor guy, I mean, he
had it won.
He ate turds. I mean, he literally, and the glasses come off. I mean,
He's Superman, that thing.
the man got himself into, he was just cooking. He had a lead, like Randy was hinting at. He it appeared maybe he had a shot to beat the Freeze, but his legs went squirrely on him at the last minute. And you're right, he Supermaned for a stretch of time, flying through the air, and a violent crash to the ground. The Freeze got another one. Freeze got another one. Disaster
It's
struck.
kind of like he stubbed his toe about 10 feet in front of the finish line, and that sent him hurtling towards the line.
I haven't seen this. I'm going to have to look it up.
Oh, it's great.
It's so worth it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's better than you think it's going to be. It looks like there was like some trip line there or something. It didn't make any sense.
There's a cameraman in the video. You can see a cameraman like getting up close and personal, like on his face when he falls. And I'm like, where's that video? I want to see that one.
Yep. There was a cameraman right there to film it all. I'm sure this guy who wiped out, his buddies are having a lot of fun with this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my damn. What do you got cooking, boys? How's it going? What do you got going this weekend?
I am at the cabin as we speak. I'm going to hang out here for a few days, I think. And
it's not up to you, is it?
What do you mean it's not up to me? Yeah, it is.
That's why you said I think.
It's not up to you.
Well, even if it's not up to me, I'm not at a bad spot.
You're not in a bad spot. No, you're not, Brad Ryder.
No, I'm out here. I'll probably head back Sunday. Maybe Monday. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to you Monday and then head back. We'll see.
Well, do what you got to do. Relax.
Right.
Yeah.
You're on vacation.
You don't.
It's easy.
You don't sound very relaxed.
Yeah, you sound stressed.
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
When do you got to go back to college?
Well, I've already kind of started working on some stuff here and there, but I really am in the office more, I would say, starting about the second week of August.
Brad and his wife have an understanding. He doesn't try to run her life, and he doesn't try to run his.
That's really accurate. That is extremely accurate. And that's why we stayed married for almost 27 years.
That's right. That's the secret.
You got to go back to work in short order. Randy's got to go back to work shortly here.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to suck. We're going to get the real Randy when you go back to work.
Work, Randy.
Not this happy ass marijuana gummy Randy that we've been hearing for the last.
Well, just wait though. The fair's coming up, so we'll get that. You know, that'll be a double dose. That'll be a double dose after that.
The man hates the fair. He hates the fair.
Absolutely can't stand it.
Can't you get out of it at this point?
Yeah.
You're the man over there.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. I got a feeling it might be my last fair. So
are you giving us a hint?
If it is my last fair, then I think I can handle it.
Yeah, that makes it easy.
Wow, you are kind of dropping a little hint there.
So we'll see.
That's why Wapple's having such a good day today. When it's your last day, it just makes it so much easier.
Wait, it's my last day?
You don't even care, dude.
No.
Yeah, we got you a cake and everything.
What do they say on the internet? No F's to give today, do you?
Everyone knew but me.
You don't even care because you're out of here for good after this. 5-0 yesterday, boys. 5-0. Twins lost in Seattle to the Mariners. Ran into some
George
quality
Kirby.
starting pitching, and then the entire Mariners bullpen was quite accurate yesterday, wouldn't you say?
I would say so, and I would also say congratulations, Twins. You've now struck out over 1,000 times this year.
Woo, we did it!
They broke the record. They broke their the double-digit, triple-digit numbers. They're now into the 4-digit numbers for strikeouts.
You were telling us about this yesterday. Has any Twins team ever accomplished that before?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. Be a good question for Dustin Morris for the Twins, who does all of their
Well, we can ask Dick Bramer on Tuesday.
Since it's only July, I would think some team has struck out 1,000 times.
Well, he's talking about the Twins, though. I don't know.
No, I am too. I would think that at some stage through a whole 162 games.
Yes,
because as you guys know, there were some bad baseball teams here in town in the late 90s.
Yep. I don't recall those teams though having the issues that this one does in striking out.
Right. Did Buck get a hit yesterday?
Buck did not. He was 0 for 4. The streak continues. He struck out twice. He's batting 193.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, how do you get out of that? I mean, you
gotta swing your way out of it.
Well, you do. But a lot of this, I'm sure, is mental. I mean, I can't imagine the pressure he feels, the stress he feels, trying to figure out a way to get out of this terrible slump that he's in. So.
The only way to get out of it is to swing your way out of it, but the question is, how many opportunities is Rocco going to give him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, as long as the team's in contention, I think he's got a chance to give him whatever he needs. But, I mean...
do you send him down to St. Paul?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that's the answer either.
And the other part of this is the amount of... this comes into the equation, the amount of money he's making.
Yeah.
You can't sit a guy that's making that amount of money on the bench all the time.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun to go to a Saints games and Bucks in there.
Yeah, get to watch him strike out there instead of in Minneapolis.
It is closer to my house.
I'll bet you if he went to management, and I don't see this happening either, but if he went to management and said, look, can I just go cross town for 2 or 3 games and, find something and come back? If he initiated that conversation, they probably would let him.
Sure they would.
I
don't think he'll do that.
I don't think that'll happen either. I'm just saying I think that would be the way it would happen.
It's the big Knicks first pitch weekend at Target Field this weekend with the Chicago White Sox coming to town now. And Sunday, 1 o'clock, I get my big chance. So,
well, very good.
A few listeners, yes.
Are there? So it's just been Ashley so far. You're the second to do this.
Yeah, that is accurate.
First is the worst, second is the best.
I'll be doing it August 6th.
Okay.
I know a few listeners have texted. A few listeners have texted and said they got tickets. They're going to come out and boo me in the next week, and I can't wait.
It'll be fun. Yeah. You like being the heel.
Oh, yeah. You said you wanted to be booed, right?
Oh, I love being the heel. Absolutely.
Remember, we were booed at a Wild game when we did the, say it with us, drop the puck thing. Remember that? Yeah, that was fun.
I don't recall that. I believe it. The Mariners, by the way, got some bad news, and it's kind of hilarious at the same time. An outfielder by the name of Jared Kelenic, if that's how you say his name.
Yep.
He wasn't able to play yesterday. He's on the injured list. He fractured his left foot, and it was self-inflicted. When the Twins beat the Mariners' ass 6-3 a couple days ago, this Kelenic came back to the damn dugout after striking out. He kicked a water cooler and broke his foot.
That sucks.
I love that stuff.
That is funny.
Wow. Imagine if some Twins have been doing that during the course of the season with all the strikeouts they've been
they'd be in pieces at this point.
That's right.
Absolutely in pieces.
Yeah, that's not good.
Twins and White Sox start their series tonight.
Yeah.
Josh?
Yes, sir.
The kid in the crowd at the New York Mets game.
Love this kid.
I am embarrassed to admit how hard I laughed at this video.
Yeah, me too.
Can we put this up on our website, or is it too filthy?
It's up on 93x.com.
You know how it is when you're watching a live game. The cameraman, the producers, they love to get that perfect shot of the crowd after something exciting happens, right? You guys know, Randy Shaver, you don't need me to explain you the television business, do you?
That's right. No, sir.
Sports broadcasts love to catch that fans' natural reaction to big plays.
Sure.
But they didn't ask for this. During the 4th inning of the New York Mets game against the Chicago White Sox Wednesday night, a member of the Mets got a big hit. Who cares? But the camera sweeps over to the crowd to catch some folks caught up in the excitement there at the New York Mets ballpark. And this young dude makes a, how do they say it these days, not safe for work gesture. And I thought it was wildly funny.
I think the addition of the second hand really puts it over the
Yes,
top.
it
Yeah,
does.
definitely. You have to use both hands.
Now, do you tell your parents you were on TV?
Oh, yeah. My parents would appreciate that.
Would they?
Yeah.
I think I would skip that as a proper dinner conversation. I don't know that I'd tell my parents.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to 93x.com.
You come home and how was the game? It was good. Did you guys watch on TV? Sure did.
Uh-oh.
How closely did you watch it? Very closely, son. Very closely.
That got me.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It got me, too.
It is. It's so dumb. And if that was my 18, 19-year-old kid, I would be embarrassed and pissed off that he would act that way with a camera.
I would, too.
But I don't know. Maybe the video just caught me at the right moment yesterday. His buddy, who's sitting next to him, is laughing as if he's the funniest person on planet Earth. Two-handed, Cubby. Two-handed.
That's what. Just he's shaking his head.
Tongue's hanging out.
He's like he's skiing.
Yeah, I bet he's a legend now amongst his friends.
Let me ask the boys a question now. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder. This conversation was going around on a website somewheres. A poll of regular folks like ourselves. What's more admirable? Well, first off, I'll set it up like this. In professional sports, there's a notion, I guess maybe I should say, that athletes should, quote, go out on top, right? Rather than stick around too long. Right, stick around too long. A new poll asked people, what's more admirable? Retiring at the top of your game or building a long and storied career until they're no longer really competitive? I'll tell you this much. 38% of people said that going out on top is more admirable. You know, you're still young, you can still play the game, and then in a blink of an eye, you're gone, you retire. Only 13% said having a longer career is more admirable. 31% said they're both equally admirable. And I can see
both sides of that.
Both sides.
I would have to say I'm in the 31% because it's such an individual thing. I don't know that you can make a blanket statement and determine everybody should be one way or the other.
Right. Young people were more, I should go this way. People 65 or over were far more likely to say you should go out on top. Maybe because they're watching themselves, you know what I'm saying? They're watching themselves no longer able to get across the room, you know what I mean? And they're thinking, man, getting old sucks. You know, losing your ability to do this and that sucks. Older people are saying, go out on top, don't get old. You know, I did some further reading on athletes who fans consider they went out on top, at the top of their game. David Robinson's name came up.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis, guys who went out on top.
Yep.
Michael Strahan. Ray Bork. Now, Ray Bork was 40 years old when he won that Stanley Cup but he was still, I mean, how many minutes? What was that, 2001, 2002 Stanley Cup when Ray Bork won it with the Avalanche in his final year? He was 40 years old, but I wonder how many minutes he averaged during the playoffs. He was on the ice at all times. The guy's just got unbelievable. He had unbelievable stamina. John Elway went out on top. There's the obvious answers like Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Sandy Koufax, Bill Russell, Jim Brown, Lynn Swann. I had forgotten that Lynn Swann retired at 30 years old.
Oh, wow.
30 years old. But he had won 4 Super Bowls.
Right. And some of those guys already had like post-sports careers lined up.
True.
I was going to say Lynn Swann sure did.
Yeah.
He went right into broadcasting, and I think he was almost as famous, if not more, as a broadcaster and TV personality as he was a wide receiver.
Oh, please. Now I'm going to lose my temper now. Please don't use Robert Smith as an example of an athlete who went out on top. Just because I greatly disliked that guy. He wasn't that good in the friggin' first place.
What?
When you brought this topic up, the first player that came to mind for me on this topic is Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean, Barry Sanders had a lot of time left on the field. A lot of, he could have played much longer
Hell
than
yeah.
he did.
Now,
I thought of another Detroit Lion. I thought of Calvin Johnson because when Calvin Johnson retired, same thing. It shocked a lot of people because he was 29, 30. I mean, he wasn't that old either.
Here's a good example from a listener. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm only thinking of the glory. Robert Ory.
Big shot, Bob.
Sure.
I guess that's a good example. Robert Ory.
He played a long time though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But I mean, I think he left after winning a title with the Lakers. He had already won two with the Rockets.
He won like 7 altogether.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Oh God.
There's two different ways to look at it, though. You're talking about either guys leaving early as younger players,
right,
or guys leaving after winning X number of championships.
Yeah, and there's examples of both in here.
Yeah.
John Elway and Ray Bork were older characters, where Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson and Sandy Koufax and Lynn Swann were still very young people.
Yeah.
Now, they this led me to looking up athletes who fans believe held on too long.
Sure.
That prick Mike Jordan, great example. Joe Namath, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Chelios, Brent. By the time Brent was in his final year here with the Vikings, he looked like someone got your grandpa full of beer and put a football helmet on his head. Did he not?
I would argue the type of season he had before that last season, though, justified how long he hung on. That was one of his best seasons ever. Maybe he shouldn't have played that last season.
Yeah, you're right. Emmitt Smith, Jerry Rice looked miserable towards the end of it. Ricky Henderson, Deion Sanders. A lot of boxers make this list, as I'm sure you're not surprised. A lot of boxers. Terrell Owens, the lunatic. The lunatic held on too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he won
again, maybe only 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I would
but
say
nothing.
just 1 year too long.
Just say it. Just say the lunatic. Guys are always swinging from his friggin' jock.
I don't have a problem people hanging on 1 year too long, because how do you know? Unless you play that last year.
You're right, Brad Ryder. How about this is kind of cool? A sumo wrestling champion is coming over to the States here to play college football.
Okay, that's sweet.
Going to play college football for Colorado State. This dude's name is Hidetoro Hanada. He's 21 years old. He was the 2000+20 All-Japan Sumo Wrestling Champion. He's been a gold medalist at the World Games. He's achieved the highest ranking in sumo, which is Yokozuna. Which brings me to a conversation of how predictable and friggin' cliche Vincent effing Kennedy McMahon can be at times. You know how he is with, he's a Japanese wrestler? Well, let's call him Yokozuna. Oh, he's a German guy? Let's call him Sheamus. Oh, he's a German guy? Let's call him Gunter. I get so tired of that, right? Wampo, you know what I'm talking about.
Just kind of shoes it in.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have a character from the South. Well, he'll be Billy Bob Joe Jim Huckleberry, I get so, come on, you can't go any further than the first answer sometimes. But I'm excited to see what this guy can do. A sumo wrestler playing friggin' football.
Is he going to play defensive line?
Defensive line, yes. Yeah.
Josh,
you know everything there is to know about martial arts.
Do they have equipment big enough for the guy?
Well, how big is he?
Well, I'm assuming if he's a sumo wrestler, he's probably pretty good size.
They don't have his weight or anything in here.
I'm also assuming he's only playing on rundowns and he's not a pass rusher.
I don't know. He hasn't even tried it out yet, Brad Ryder. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. Even insects are burned out on Patrick Mahomes and that Kelsey clown and the Kansas City Chiefs. They were attacked by bees at practice yesterday.
You can see this on 93x.com.
They'd had enough.
I'm like him when bees come near me. I just run away.
Oh, yeah.
Do you try and play it cool at first like they did, and then everybody said, all right, F it, I'm freaking out?
Yeah, I try to play it cool. I actually, I've begun telling people that I'm allergic to bees so that they don't think that I'm just like being over dramatic. Yeah, actually, my boyfriend just found out probably like 2 months ago that I'm actually not allergic to bees.
You've told that lie a lot then, huh?
Yeah.
Couple of our listeners. Oh, couple of our listeners are saying that Eldrick Woods is hanging on too long.
I think you can pick and choose what tournaments he wants to play.
Man. Wapple. Yeah. Why don't you drop that dad fights button on that stack of dimes it calls a neck? Boom. Wow, this is a tough question that just got texted into the program by Winter Penis in Summer Jesus. He has a question. What feat is more admirable? How do you say it again, Josh?
Admirable.
What feat is more admirable? 5 goals in one game against Minnetonka in 1986 or 1,000 career beer league hockey points?
Are we talking about the same person?
Yeah. Wow. You know who he's talking about.
Right.
I would say probably my 1,000 beer league points. I mean, in 86, everyone expected me to score 5 goals a game, and I did it against Minnetonka. By the time I was playing beer league, I don't think because of, time and, how an athlete tends to wear down, I don't think my fans expected 1,000 career beer league points out of me. So I'd say the latter. Thank you for asking. What time is it, Josh?
It is 7:57. That story reminds me of Smilin' Don. I'd love it if you'd tell our Smilin' Don story again. Former sales guy here. One of our favorite people in the building for a very long time. He never knew quite who we were or what radio station we worked for. Despite the fact that we knew him for over 20 years. Who are you guys again, and where do you work? We get that a lot.
He was such a funny guy, a former sales guy here. I'm happy to tell the Smilin' Don story again. I know Randy sat through it a few times, but
the way you set up your other story, it reminded me of that.
Yeah, Smilin' Don was just scrawny little. Speaking of the Barbie movie coming out, he kind of looked like an action figure, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
Don
he was very handsome.
Handsome, and he looked like, and he was a smaller guy. He looked like an action figure, like a
Ken doll.
Yeah, so Smilin' Don grew up in, he went to Johnson High School.
Yep.
And he's an older guy by now. Damn. He said, when he was going to high school at Johnson, he played on the basketball team. And he said Johnson High School hockey at the time in the 60s was so successful. He said his own mother would often go to the hockey game instead of coming to watch her own son play basketball for Johnson. And they were a terrible team, he said back then, even the coach. One time I think he said the coach looked at him, all the players are sitting on the bench, they're preparing to take on some other school, and the coach looked at the players and said, it's like leading lambs to a slaughter, isn't it, boys? Okay.
Good pep talk.
Smilin' Don played high school basketball at Johnson. Didn't come off the bench very often. So even on a bad team, he didn't get a lot of playing time. But one game he goes out there, there's nobody in the stands. He goes out there and he's racing around, playing defense as best he can. There's a loose ball, and Don goes flying out of bounds to try to keep the ball in bounds. And he crashes into the utility box on the wall, that aluminum framing with all of the switches and he crashes violently into the utility box and he lands down on the floor. And the referee comes over and says, "You all right, kid?" And Don says, "Yeah, I think I'm all right, but tell me, how are my fans taking it?"
That is such a good line.
And the ref said, "Get your ass up and get back on the field." Yeah, Don would walk up to us in the hallway and go, "Man, great show today, guys. I was laughing my ass off in the car. What frequency are you guys again? What is it? This weekend's the big Barbie weekend. Ooh. The movie Barbie is set to come out, which is the story of something.
Yep. That is correct.
Barbie.
Most folks don't care. They just want to see that Margot Robbie bounce around the big screen wearing, midriff-bearing outfits. Also opening this weekend, a movie called Oppenheimer, which is the story of the man who created the Creed bomb. Hello, my friend, we meet all again. Been a while. Remember the Creed bomb?
That was big for a while.
No, it's the story of Bob Oppenheimer, who was involved in developing the first nuclear weapons. By God, he was.
Creed, by the way, they're getting back together.
Is Creed getting back together?
They are.
2 huge movies, one about a blonde, the other about bombs. So how do we celebrate this? Through a fresh edition of our Dad Fights trivia contest between Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder?
Oh, boy.
We center the contest on blonde bombshells. That's how you do morning radio.
That's true. That's better than Barbenheimer.
Current events, bro. You got to connect with current events. Current events and fart sounds. That's all you need in morning radio. If you can own those 2 angles, you can compete. We're going to quiz you 2 boys on gorgeous blonde bombshells. Randy, you're going to feel things today that you haven't felt in years.
Oh, man. Good luck with that.
Hot blondes? Wall-to-wall hot blondes.
It's going to take more than blondes to do that.
Oh, no. Hot blonde guys and hot blonde gals.
Oh.
Gals and bro.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Okay.
We'll dump some info on you, hints and such, to help you name the blonde bombshell that damn near everybody knows about. Singers, actors, athletes, maybe even a movie or a television character. You'll get her done. Wow.
This is not going to be a good category.
Oh, you'll be fine.
I think with the clues, you'll figure it out.
I have an example. This hot blonde proved that size means little to some women when she married a cue card reading Iowegian nicknamed the Hog Donk.
Let me guess.
Roseanne Shaver.
Hey, you get how the game's played.
You know what gave it away was Hog Donk.
I haven't heard that in a long time. Oh, that's good.
I got to go ahead and say, while we're at it, I think I got to go ahead and say that probably the best looking blonde man of all time has to be Larry Bird.
Oh, man.
All right, here we go. She's a head-to-head adventure here. Answer before your opponent. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell, and that means you got a point. If you're incorrect, what was I just saying about morning radio staples, right, Josh? If
That's
you're
right.
incorrect,
You got to put it in there.
you'll hear the infamous Costco intercom fart.
That's the recipe for success.
And that means you get no points. You can steal a point if your opponent answers a challenge incorrectly. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if it's necessary. Kidney donor Jesus, give us that intro.
This is Kidney Donor Jesus, father to 0 kids, and hailing from Hockeytown, USA, Warroad, Minnesota, and currently residing in the sweltering city of San Antonio, Texas. Hey Nick, fun hockey fact. Did you know that the U.S. men's hockey team hasn't won Olympic gold without someone from Warroad on the roster? Anyway, back to the dad fight. In one corner, we have Randy, the ass man shaver, calling in while on vacation at the old folks' home. Hey Randy, what is your favorite dessert night at the home?
Oh, banana pudding tonight.
In the other corner, we have sex ed teacher extraordinaire B. Rad Ryder. If you need help distinguishing between the two, Randy is the one who repeats every answer he gets correct, and Brad is the one complaining about cell phone reception or being all weird and secretive. Come on, Brad, tell us the dang song already. All right, good luck, gentlemen. This is Dad Fights 137.
Let me tell you something, kidney donor Jesus. I came very close to masturbating.
Oh, with his delivery? Oh, my gosh.
Was he whispering so somebody... I mean, that was very sexy.
It was.
Dad Fights 100 plus 37, the Blonde Bombshell Edition. Brad, will you stop dropping coins on your phone for a minute so we can... What are you doing?
Sounds like you're on a trampoline or something.
It sounds like you're raking your phone through an ice cube tray.
Really?
Yes.
That's a great description.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm going to drive to wherever your cabin is, and then you and I are going to have a jet ski fight.
Brad's trying to make a cocktail.
The Blonde Bombshell Edition. Guys and girls, hot blondes, you know them. We'll help you get to the correct answer here. It's Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
This blonde bombshell made the jump from magazine covers to the silver screen in 2011 with the movie Tower Heist. In 2017, her now husband put a ring on her finger and one on his own when he won the World
Kate Upton.
Kate Upton.
Nice.
When he won
Howdy,
the World
howdy.
Series with the Astros. In 2014, she starred in The Other Woman alongside Cameron Diaz and Leslie Mann. She didn't get nominated for an Oscar, but she did get nominated for Best Shirtless Scene at the MTV Movie Awards.
She did a shirtless scene?
Yeah, like slow motion, shirtless.
What?
That is like what I know her from. Like that scene.
What movie?
What Josh just said.
Tower Heist?
Our Heist?
No, The
I've
Other
never heard of
Woman.
that one.
Yeah,
The Other Woman.
The Other Woman's. Okay. All I remember, what was that dance called? The fat
Daddy
dance?
dance.
Or the
Cat Daddy.
Why would I
Cat
think it was
Daddy.
called the fat dance? Jesus
Cat
Christ.
Daddy.
All right. Cat Daddy. Okay. Nice work, Randy Shaver. Kate Upton, huh?
Yes.
Do you have her magazines at the house between the box spring and the mattress or anything like that?
I do not, but I know who she is.
You know who she is, Brad Ryder?
I do know who she is.
Are you allowed to know who she is?
I'm aware. Yep.
All right, 1-0 Randy. This all-timer blonde athlete got his start in 1977 and is widely regarded as the biggest draw in the history of his sport. He may have lost some of those golden locks up on top, but what you gonna do, brother?
Hulk Hogan.
What you gonna do? We're tied at 1. That is correct, Brad Ryder. Hulk Hogan. Back in the 1970s, listen to this, baseball fans. There was an outside chance that Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage could have been teammates on the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I knew this. I knew that Macho Man and his brother, Lanny, God rest both of their souls, I knew that they were both terrific baseball players. I knew that Randy was in the minor leagues.
Huh.
I didn't know that Hulk Hogan was a great baseball player, and pro scouts took an interest in him. It makes sense. He was a giant guy, you know, and when he was young, he was very thin and he was very agile.
Sure.
But Hogan's dreams ended when he had an arm broken for him. And I think that was when he first started training for wrestling. I think I heard the story that when he first started training, some veteran thought he was too cute, broke his arm for him, just to teach him a lesson. That's the story. That's how. I mean, but also, if you ask Hulk Hogan, didn't he once say he was almost in Metallica?
Yeah.
So, I
He did.
Okay.
mean,
It reminds me of one time when I was out with Carl Anthony Towns when I worked for the Wolves. He spent about 15 minutes trying to convince me that he almost got drafted in the major leagues, too, for baseball as a pitcher.
is that right?
Yeah. I wasn't buying it. But, yeah.
Well, there go Carl telling one of his stories again. We're tied at 1.
This blonde princess has been in over 50 video games and is true royalty, but she might want to invest in some gold coins for better castle security so Mario doesn't have to keep rescuing her.
Seriously, guys?
No idea.
No idea.
Wow.
The correct answer is Princess Peach. Can you tell Dana wrote the contest?
Yeah.
I love Princess Peach.
After years of playing the damsel in distress role in Mario games, next year Nintendo is giving Princess Peach her own video game where she's the main character.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That's not. I wouldn't have got that one in a million years either.
No.
What? I
Even
love
with all
playing...
the Mario Kart you played?
Yeah.
Well, but I remember, a couple of character names. I couldn't tell you everybody on the roster. I know Mario and Luigi and that
Yoshi.
the green goat Yoshi and.
Yeah, I like to play like Princess Peach's Mini-Me. Those ones are fun. They go faster.
We're still tied at 1. Still tied at 1. Blonde bombshell edition of Dad Fights. Hot blondes of all different kinds. This next gorgeous blonde has done a little bit of everything over the course of his 35-year entertainment career, including becoming a licensed doctor at the age of 14 on the hit television program Doogie Howser.
Don't know.
I can picture him.
A lot of leeway over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can picture him. Neil Patrick Harris. I just thought of it. Too late.
Yep.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Sorry you didn't get in before the fart.
No.
The correct answer is Neil Patrick Harris. No points for the boys.
I love him on How I Met Your Mother.
I've heard he's very funny on it.
Yeah, he's great in that.
Never saw it.
I haven't either.
Yeah, very attractive man. And the way that he comes off in that show makes you like him even more. He plays like a player.
Yeah, he's like a jerky womanizer, right?
Yeah, very much a ladies' man.
Never saw him in Doogie Howser either. I couldn't bother with that one. But I've seen him in some other things. He's very, very funny and very talented. It says here his role in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle in 2000+4 is credited with reviving his career. I do remember that scene. He plays an extremely horny, drug-loving, fictional version of himself. This is very interesting. The writers put him in the script without asking first if he'd be interested. The backup plan, if he would have said no, was to have Ralph Macchio do it.
That would have been great. I would have loved that.
We're tied at where are we?
Still tied at 1.
I got a half a point for that.
You get nothing, Brad, and you're going to like it.
Settle down.
There's something about this next famous blonde actress.
Cameron Diaz.
Good one, Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Very good. Cameron Diaz. Yeah. That is the correct answer. By marrying Benji Madden, the 5'5" lead singer of Good Charlotte, the 5'9" Diaz gave hope to us short guys all around the world.
Cameron Diaz. 2-1, Brad Ryder.
Good one.
She's Cameron Diaz. She can have the pick of anybody in the world. She marries a guy from something called Good Charlotte.
They were popular for a minute or two.
Yeah, they were.
All right, 2-1, Brad. This mystery-solving, ascot-wearing cartoon blonde is always very well-dressed and put together, unlike his pal Shaggy, who rides around with him and a couple of babes in a vehicle called the Mystery Machine.
Is it Velma?
Shaggy.
I know it was one of those two. Shoot.
The correct answer is Fred from Scooby-Doo. I also would have accepted Fred Jones.
Fred,
Oh.
yeah. The women, Daphne and Velma, they do not have blonde hair. They're not blonde.
Daphne. That was the other one.
Yeah, Daphne's like a redhead kind of vibe.
Okay.
Josh, did you know his full name was Fred Jones?
No, I'd never heard that.
I
That come up very often.
According to Scooby-Doo Behind the Scenes. I missed that. I missed Scooby.
Oh, bummer.
I just read about it while I was putting the questions together. I hadn't seen it either.
Fred was voted best looking in school and was once part of a performance troupe before he devoted himself to solving mysteries. I've always thought of that Fred is obviously a trust fund baby who doesn't need to get a real job.
That is,
He kind of looks like it,
that
doesn't
way
he?
for sure.
Right, and he slums it with these other losers because he's a drug addict.
Well,
He's the one
and
that
he's really
sells
sarcastic
them the
with
weed.
his comments too. When he talks down to those other guys. On the
He is.
show.
He's kind of a sarcastic prick.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever actually went back and watched them? Because Brad is onto something. He does kind of treat them like they're lesser than.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to hate him.
Picture a young Brad getting pissed off at the TV at Fred.
You, Fred.
I thought you guys would get Fred.
I thought so too. Yeah.
All right.
I was thinking the gal, obviously not Velma, but I didn't remember she had red hair. I forgot she had red hair.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
This next blonde actress, known for her role as Vicky in the American Pie series, holds
Jennifer Coolidge.
hot mama, by the way.
Good guess.
Holds a very special place in the heart of my best friend and the most talented person I've ever met, Nick.
Oh.
And no matter what the brother or sisterhood say, she does not collect tolls under a bridge.
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid is the correct answer.
I had to stop laughing to answer the question.
That is right. While mostly known for playing Vicky in 3 American Pie films, she's reprised the role of a different character far more times. She played April Wexler in the television film Sharknado. and then went on to reprise the role in 5 sequels, including Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no.
Oh!
By the way, that features a cameo from former NFL wide receiver Chad Johnson, who plays a NASA technician.
Jesus criminy. I love Tara Reid, and it hurts me when our listening audience says terrible things about her. That makes the score in the score is how you say it. That makes the score in this week's Dad Fights, I think, so far 3-1. Brad, right?
Finish him.
Oh, this is it.
Brad, you could
up against it.
You could win the pig right here.
Oh boy.
Yep.
This Canadian blonde has sold over 150 million albums worldwide since he was discovered singing on YouTube.
Bieber.
Nice.
Oh, good one.
Randy's right in the mix. He doesn't just have singing talent. This guy is surprisingly skilled at hockey and basketball as well. That's correct, Randy. Justin Bieber. According to Wikipedia, Justin Bieber is bilingual.
Oh.
Fluent in both. What the hell do you guys think I was?
It's a long pause there.
Speaking of his hockey skills, at 29 years old, Mankato State's men's program has told Bieber that he's just about at the right age to come. And, help them make another run at a national title in a couple years. 3-2.
I almost spit out Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams. Sure.
But I would have been wrong.
Well, he sold a lot of records, and he's Canadian, and he had blonde hair at one point or another.
YouTube wasn't a thing, though, when he was
That's a good point.
Oh, yeah, I would have overlooked that. Randy has a chance to tie her up, or Brad could shut the door. By damn. Oh, no, but maybe Brad couldn't shut the door. Could he, Wapple, mathematically?
Is it question 9 or 10?
This is number 9.
Okay, I can. If I get it, I win.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I like how our scoring guy went.
That's his brain buffering.
That's true. I could see the status bar going across.
Once they start missing all these, it gets tough to remember how many to win.
I can't do arithmetic, Wapple. But what I do is I try not to say, when somebody asks me. I'm not the arithmetic guy.
Everything's golden for this golden-haired blonde.
Oh.
She's a Golden Globe-winning actress. She has a famous mother named Goldie. And aside from being known for hit movies like Fool's Gold, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and Almost Famous...
Kate Hudson.
That's right.
God dang it. I could picture her, too. I just couldn't think of her name.
She also is raking in the gold as an endorser for a popular athleisure line.
She just smooth drives me crazy when I see her on a television or a movie screen.
I know you're a fan.
But her mother did and does the same. Her mother, I get lightheaded when I see Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn was young.
Oh,
man.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you guys aren't joking.
1965, 75, when I think she was born in the 40s. So.
2023 will work for me, Randy.
She's amazing.
Hudson gave her son Ryder the middle name Russell as an homage to her mother Goldie Hawn's longtime partner Kurt Russell, who Kate always considered to be her father.
Are we tied at 3?
Mm-hmm. She dated Alex Rodriguez for a while, too.
Don't say that. Don't say that. This is very exciting. We're up to our final question. Tied at 3. This next hunky blonde actor not only makes this week's Dad Fight segment, but also repeatedly makes Cubby's Chris list, which is a list of famous people named Chris that Josh is deeply sexually attracted to. This blonde I'm talking about, an Australian, he wears a long...
Hemingsworth.
Fatality.
You win.
Yes!
What a comeback.
Comeback
Nice,
win.
Randy.
2 weeks in a row. Had you down, I can't get you out.
An Australian, he wears a long blonde hairdo and portrays Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And boy, can he be funny in those movies.
He's so good, especially when he's fat Thor.
All right, I didn't want to start trouble, but it sounded like Randy said Hemingsworth.
He did say Hemingsworth.
Yep.
That's incorrect.
Well, then that's wrong. It's Hemsworth.
We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Yeah. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
I don't want to get into this.
Same guy.
I didn't want to get it. It's the same guy.
If I would have said Hemingsworth, he would be all over that.
I wouldn't know the difference.
Because you got it wrong.
It's just a typical dad mistake.
God dang it, Randy. Why didn't you say Hemsworth?
I heard the same thing.
Maybe there was...
Well,
we should go to a tiebreaker question. You got time.
Well, you already gave it to me. You already rang the bell. It's over.
We've gone back from that stupid bell before.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
Talk to you on Monday.
Wapple.
I say Randy wins.
All right.
We just got to keep Randy happy.
Our tiebreaker was going to be Boomer Esiason. No, I'm kidding. Our tiebreaker was going to be Pamela Anderson.
Oh, even better.
Well, we will. You guys, wonderful job on Dad Fights today. Wonderful.
Even though I didn't lose.
Brett.
No, Shavingsworth won fair and square.
Hemingsworth.
I don't want to do it today, Brad.
It's our Friday.
I just don't want to do it. As soon as I thought I heard Randy say Hemingsworth, I said to myself, I don't have the energy for this. Because I know what's coming. You guys, awesome. Thank you. We'll talk to you Monday.
Okay.
We'll be back in a minute.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Josh, you got a pretty good memory, don't you?
It depends.
Can you remember this for next week? At least a couple of listeners have texted in to remind us that next week will be Dad Fights 69 plus 69.
Yeah, that's next week? Okay.
That's what they're telling me.
I couldn't remember if it was 1 week away or 2 weeks away.
You know how Wapple and I are with the arithmetic. So someone will have to check that out for me. But they say next week is Dad Fights 69
Yeah,
plus
I guess that does sound right.
And that's something we should probably celebrate.
I believe we are. I know, Wapple, you were saying that we're lucky enough to have listeners that will record an intro for us each week, and you said this one has been on a lot of people's calendars. They wanted to join and do the intro for this day?
Yeah, I had about 6 people that requested to do just this intro, and I had to turn down, obviously, 5 people.
You mean the 69 plus 69 intro?
Yep.
They want to get in line for that?
Just that one.
It's an important day.
Dad Fight 69, it was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everybody wants a piece of it. Here's the deal. We thank you for listening to the Half-Assed Morning Show. It's 8:36. We're going to get her done here shortly. Speaking of celebrations, today is apparently legal drinking age day.
Woo.
And I assume that means that today we should celebrate and think back to the day we all became legal to chug hooch.
It was my second time drinking alcohol when I turned the day I turned 21.
And wasn't the first, remember if I'm correct or not, there wasn't like a couple days before, like a week or so before your 21st birthday?
10 days before.
10 days.
And I almost got a minor. The one day I decided to drink.
That would have been a cool story.
Yeah. Yep.
I dig that story. I dig that it was only your second time drinking when you turned 21 and went out.
It was fun.
Does everyone remember? I mean, everyone remembers the first legal night out, the first joint you hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How did everybody do? Were you? I know Josh's answer, because you didn't have much experience. Were you the type who had practiced enough in high school where you were able to control yourself on your first night out as a legal drinker, or were you like a spinning, screaming vomit tornado that made just a complete fool of yourself?
Mine was completely normal, but I mean, it was actually pretty lame. I think I was in bed by like 9:30 that night.
That sounds like an awesome night. Well, maybe not when you're 21.
Why, because you started early? Or I think I've heard this story before.
No, we ended up going to like an arcade bar, which was really fun.
Sweet.
It was a lot of fun, but that's not really like the scene if you just turned 21. Like, it wasn't very poppin'. And so yeah, I just had a couple drinks and was like, all right, well, I guess that's it.
What's that movie where the older guys go out to get laid and they go to Applebee's?
Oh, Hall Pass.
Yeah, terrible movie, but I do love that scene. So were any of us the spinning vomit tornado, just completely out of control?
Yes.
You were, Wapple?
Yeah, I wasn't out of control, but I just could not hold my vomit.
Are you talking about at the establishment? You vomited at the establishment?
Oh, yeah.
Did you make it to the bathroom?
So I made it to the bathroom door. I opened up the door and then just all on the floor.
Were your friends feeding you like those typical shots?
Yeah. So they had a rule where every single time that I touched a shot glass, I had 5 seconds and then I had to drink it. And they put me behind this pillar at the bar. So every single time the bartender would try to give me a shot, I would have to grab it right away. And they lined just 6 of them up right away. I had a 4 Horsemen, and then a cement mixer, and then something else.
Oh, so you went the cement mixer, I told you before, that was my first ever drink. I was pranked on that one.
Yeah,
those are nasty.
It was just a mess.
So it didn't matter if you were practiced or not. The goal was to make you puke yourself sideways.
Man.
My first time drinking, I didn't get too drunk. I remember when I was drinking Long Island's, and I had a couple of them. I definitely was drunk, but it wasn't too bad. It was Bennigan's. And then we went back to Bennigan's, my second time drinking, and I got really drunk, and I threw up in my best friend's car. So we moved to his girlfriend's car, which I threw up in, and then he got a D-dub on the way out of the parking lot.
No.
So that was a bad night.
Yeah.
God damn.
That was a bad and very expensive night.
Oh,
that was on your second night out?
Second night.
Oh my gosh,
As
I'd
a
be traumatized.
As a legal drinker. You see, Wapple, you're not alone. Peer pressure or whatever it was, you went along with that, your friends putting all these shots. I remember my twin brother and I, we had seen that played out a couple times by the time we turned 21. And so we're all loading up, ready to go out for me and my brother's 21st birthday. And we flat out told our friends, we're not playing the grossest shot game. Well, not grossest, but you know what I mean, how your friends will buy you every shot under the sun. We said, we're not going to do it. And some of our buddies were pissed. It's like the story I've told you before, Josh, about my college athlete friend who flat out told his teammates, I'm not getting involved in any hazing. I'm not doing any of that. You can try your best, but I'm not going to get involved. And they all looked at him like, well, who do you think you are? My brother and I said, we're not doing the shots. We'll drink all the beer you got, but we're not doing the prairie fire, and we're not and some of our friends were kind of pissed off by that, I think, because they didn't have the balls to stand up for themselves when it was their turn.
Oh, yeah.
That was exactly my case, too. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that crap. Like, I know, especially, I was drinking for a while by then, and I was like, I know what booze I like. Like, I don't want a gumdrop shot or whatever the heck it is.
Jersey Turnpike.
We were very practiced by the time we turned 21. We knew what we liked and didn't like. Not trying to dummy, you down, Wapple. I'm sure you were very entertaining when you were splashing vomit all over them.
Yeah, and one of the moments that came out of that, the guy who had to clean my puke, he's now a really good friend of mine.
That's awesome.
We go golfing, disc
You mean you
golfing all
didn't
the time.
know him on that night?
No, I had no idea who he was, and then I met him that night.
That sounds like a fetish to me. He's got a puke fetish.
He's waiting for you to throw up again, Wapple.
Well, I can tell you for me, I did, like I said, I had no experience. I didn't really know what to drink, and I was told, okay, drink Long Island's because you'll get drunk fast.
Yeah, it's a good bang for your buck when you're young and 21.
That's very true.
Friends that were over 21, because you'd go to Bennigan's, you buy one drink, they give you 8.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's always 2 for 1 or 3 for 1s at Bennigan's. So they would say, hey, buy this watered down Long Island, and you get 2 or 3 of them, and you're going to be hammered for next to nothing.
Yeah, if I'm having like a bad day and I need to get there in 1 or 2 drinks, I'll drink a Long Island, but I would never suggest those to like a fresh new drinker.
Well, after throwing up in 2 vehicles that night, that's the last time I had a Long Island.
You haven't gone back?
No, I have not.
Young drinkers are funny. I get a kick out of watching them sometimes, but and mainly because I remember how we used to be when we were freshly 21. A couple examples of when you're young and you're just beginning your bar career. Maybe you did plenty of drinking at house parties and whatnot, but now you're legal to go to any bar, anywhere. One of the sillier situations, some of you West Metro people are very familiar with In Cahoots in Hamel. I used to live right down the road from In Cahoots. I still pop in there once in a while. And I remember when we turned 21, that was one of the joints we wanted to hit. There's 5, 6 of us in the car. We parked the car, and 2 of our buddies stayed in the car. We're walking towards the entrance of In Cahoots. 2 of our buddies stayed in the car, and we turned and said, "What are you doing?" And they said, "We're not going in there. That's a biker bar." They were too afraid to go into the joint.
Come on.
But again, when you're 21, maybe a little sheltered from what they're... You watch movies, you think it's a biker bar, you're going to get beat up,
True.
We made great fun of them, don't get me wrong, but thinking back now, they didn't know jack squat about what to expect,
Yeah, well, yeah, how would you know? It's the elementary music teacher Jesus. Her birthday is Cinco de Mayo, so lots of tequila on her 21st birthday. She said the worst shot was actually Surfer on acid.
I've heard of that.
I've heard of it.
And then she writes in parentheses, "Thanks, Mike," with the middle finger emoji.
Oh, God.
No puking for her, but she did kiss like 4 guys. Proud moment, she said.
Jägermeister, coconut rum, and pineapple juice.
Yeg should not be mixed with anything.
Oh, that's brutal.
I really like Jägermeister.
Do you?
Yeah.
Dana
Like Yeg
mentioned
Bobs in?
Yang bombs.
Or
How do you call it?
Yeg-bombs?
Yang
I've
bombs?
never had a Yeg bomb.
No?
No, I don't. I can't do that because the Red Bull isn't that?
Yeah,
Red
I don't really like.
Caffeine would kill you.
Yeah, caffeine would kill me.
Certain energy drinks I don't really care for.
I used to mess around with Yag a little bit. Dana mentioned when you're a fresh, brand new 21-year-old bar goer, you don't have any money.
Yeah.
So it made sense that they wanted you to drink, how do you call it,
Long
Island.
Island's.
You get drunk quicker. I like to believe that I will never see this again for the rest of my life. But when we were newly 21, we went to a bar in St. Cloud. There were 2 buddies of mine who were so broke, they split a beer.
Oh, man.
No.
Yes.
Did they at least get like a second cup, or were they going sip for sip?
It was a long time ago, Wapple, but I believe they separated it into 2. And of course, we're also broke. So there was no such thing as buying around back then.
No.
With the exception of when you go to 25-cent beer night or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing is, you guys know I have great respect for bartenders, no matter what age customer they're putting up with. Bartenders, no way I could
They
do that
deal with
job.
a lot.
No way I could do that job.
It's fun.
And I still see this once in a while, like when you go to a Twins game. I don't know how bartenders put up with this. 6 different 21-year-olds all paying separately.
It's awful.
When you're 21, you don't know. Grown folks buy rounds.
Mm-hmm.
When we were that young, we didn't practice that because none of us had enough money for a round. So, but still, I'll go to a bar or a ball game, and I'll see 6 21-year-olds, a group of them. They're all friends. They come up and order a drink, and they each pay separately. And the bartender wants to strangle them and say, "One of you cheap pricks buys a round,"
That was usually my least favorite demographic, was like the younger, 21, 22-year-olds that would come in. Because of that reason, they would all pay separate, order separately. Trying to get them to order would be a mission in itself because they're pretty tuned up.
They all use a card now.
Yep.
Everyone uses a card. You got to do the paperwork, whatever, the receipt, right?
I will say the only upside is that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the younger generation is starting to tip really well. They have more sympathy, seems like, because they're like, oh yeah, hey, I'm broke too kind of vibe going on. So they tip pretty well. So when they're all paying separate, it's like, oh nice, there's a $3 tip, a $3 tip, $2 tip. If it's all on one, it's like, yeah, you're probably going to get $5.
Josh probably remembers this. Okay, when we were 21-year-old kids, we used to go to the Mirage and watch rock concerts. And remember how they would split the crowd? It would be an 18-plus type situation. They'd have a barrier in the middle of the crowd, 18 and under, or you couldn't be under, 18 to 20-year-old people on one side.
Oh. Yep.
21 and over on the other side. Remember how we quickly developed an attitude and would look down at the 18 to 20?
Even though, just yesterday we were in their spot.
Yeah. I've been guilty of that.
It's kind of like when you're a sophomore in high school, all of a sudden, you're so much better than a freshman.
You start calling them freshies.
We would look down at, hey, I've been 21 for a good 2.5 months now, kid.
Now, you guys are going to think I'm lying about this, but I wasn't always as cool as I am now.
No way.
So when I was 16 or so, I wanted a fake ID, but it had nothing to do with drinking. It was for what you were talking about, Nick. I wanted to go to rock shows. I wanted to be able to get into some of these shows, so I wanted the ID just for that. And I had no interest in drinking whatsoever, none at all. But, that didn't go over with my parents. I tried to convince them, hey, can I get this just for that? But they weren't buying it.
You asked them. That's adorable.
Wanted a fake ID just for rock shows.
Just to go to the shows, yeah, because there were so many shows coming through that I couldn't go see.
You were always a broad thinker.
Thinking about broads and whatnot?
Yeah, thinking about broads.
Ever since puberty, you're right.
I only got into one bar underage here in the cities. Now, when we'd go up north on fishing trips when we were in high school, we used to drink at roadhouses.
They didn't care.
They didn't care. They just needed the money. A couple of us looked 21 or so. There's not a chance in hell anyone would have bought that I was 21 when I was 17. But some of those up north roadhouses, they didn't care. Only once did I get into a bar in Minneapolis underage. And strangely enough, it was because one of my buddy's girlfriends was a KQ babe.
Oh, yeah?
Back in the day, KQ down the hall there, they had, just like we had the 93X girls, they stole our idea, and they had the KQ babes, hot women that would hang out at promotions. So one of my buddy's girlfriends was a KQ babe. There was a KQ promotion going on that night after the Steve Miller Band concert. So first off, I stomached a Steve Miller Band concert just so we could go with the KQ babes into this Minneapolis bar. The show was at Target Center.
Was the promotion maybe a boat cruise, an idea that they also stole from us?
Yeah. They called it the KQ Booze Cruise. Yep. Sponsored by Anytime Bail Bonds. Anyway, so me and a few buddies with the KQ babes, we snuck into what now is Dream Girls. At the time, it was Jukebox Saturday Night. That was the name of the bar. Now it's the Dream Girls building. But there was a funny moment. So myself included, me and these 2-3 guys, my buddies, this was our first time underage in a Minneapolis bar, and we were just thrilled to be there. We were, and it was so much fun, and there were so many people. Sure, we'd gone to these little friggin' dives up in Ely and whatnot. It was a downtown bar, so many hot women and all that. So I'm on one side of the bar. One of my buddies is on the other. We're pretty tuned up at this point. One of my buddies is on the other. The bartender is between us. And my buddy it's so loud. My buddy's hollering his ass off, trying to say something to me from across the bar. And I'm saying, I can't hear you. He hollers it again louder. I'm like, dude, I can't hear anything you said. He finally says, dude, this is awesome. We gotta get fake IDs.
No.
And the bartender heard every word he said and just looked at us like, have one more drink and get the hell out of here.
Oh, no.
So, everyone, happy legal drinking age day. Think back to all those innocent days, Cubby.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I was lucky enough. I got to spend with my 2 older kids a part of their 21st birthday with them. And I can tell you the most recent one just in April. And my stepdaughter had a few to the point where I thought, how is she handling this so well? Because there were shots involved and all that kind of stuff. And I had asked her afterwards, I'm like, I don't think this is the first time you've ever had a drink. You don't seem affected at all. And she told me, she's like, I actually am pretty wasted. I couldn't tell. She hid that really well. I don't know what happened the rest of the night. I didn't really want to know. But because this was like a lunch thing. We were downtown for like a lunch thing where she had a bunch. So I'd imagine it was pretty crazy. Yeah, it was fun. I couldn't believe that both kids let us hang out with them on their 21st birthday.
That's cool.
I remember asking my dad if he'd go drinking with my brother and I, like a week after we turned 21, and he said, I've seen the way you guys operate drinking. There's absolutely no way I'm going out. He said, there's no way I'm going to be seen in public with you rookies. No way.
Well, I thought my wife was crazy. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to ask the kids if we can go. I'm like, there's no way they're going to want to hang out with us on their 21st. But they did. That was awesome.
You're that damn cool.
After.
I told you guys just a few seconds ago I'm cool.
You are cool.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
This summer, every Friday here on the Half-assed Morning Show, we'd like to take a few minutes to recognize an active duty service member or veteran. Why not get to know some of these folks and say word up and word life? You can go to 93x.com if you'd like to nominate a service member or veteran. so they can possibly make an appearance on our program. Now, we'll jaw jack with them a little bit, maybe hear a story or two, and each segment will make a donation to Folds of Honor in their name. Thank you very much to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch for making this happen. Today's entry was nominated by his wife, Liz. And here's what Liz had to say, nominating a young man by the name of Josh Keener. She says, Josh is retiring this year from the Army National Guard after 20 years in service. He joined when he was still in high school and served 4 deployments during his tenure. He's proud of his many years of service and the mentorship he's been able to provide his fellow soldiers, and he's a big fan of the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Why? Everything else sounded so great.
That's wonderful to hear. Let's meet Josh Keener real quick. What's up, bruh?
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning.
Doing all right, man. But thank your wife for nominating you, and thank you for coming on the air with us.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Actually, it was funny because she calls me and says, hey, I did something. You might not going to like it. And I'm like, what did you do? And then next thing I know, Dana's calling me, setting up this, so...
Oh, Dana had to call you?
I'm sorry.
Man, that sort of really went downhill.
When your wife says to you, hey, I did something that you might not have liked, what scenarios went through your mind, if you don't mind sharing that with us, Josh?
There's a lot of things that go through your head at that moment.
Well,
You're like, how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
What is it?
What did you break?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
What happened to the car? Might have been one that went through your mind.
How close are you?
Yeah.
How close are you to retiring?
Actually, I just retired May 1st.
Oh, you did? Okay. What do you think
Yep.
you'll miss the most from your time in service?
Getting away from my wife on the
my
weekend.
God.
Isn't she like there with you?
He is. He's actually sitting right next to me.
I like this. Here's a guy taking an opportunity to take some cheap shots at the old lady. I dig it. 20 years, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just got done celebrating our 10-year anniversary this past June, so.
You and that wife that you were telling us about a minute ago?
Yep.
You got any young kids running around the house?
2 dogs.
Oh,
I'm
there
not a
you
big kid guy, so.
What kind of dogs?
They're both rescues. One looks like a Leonberger. She's 108 pounds. Her name's Tessa. And then I have a 46-pound, looks like a kind of a terrier type. And then his name's Cooper.
Cute.
You got any roast jokes for them or just for the wife?
Just the wife. I love my dogs more.
They've never let you down. They've never made you talk to Dana on the radio or the phone.
Right? Yeah, they're always happy when I come home.
That's great.
Ain't that the truth?
This Josh guy's cold-blooded.
I love it.
Now, tell me, Josh, a few minutes ago we were having a conversation about today is National Legal Drinking Age Day. We were all sharing stories about when we were young drinkers. Now, when you turned 21, were you deployed at the time?
I actually was. I was over in Iraq at that moment.
Did you even have the opportunity to celebrate a little bit, or were you in the middle of something?
No, we couldn't. I was taking convoys down. I was a gunner for part of it, and I was a driver for part of it. But that night, I was going down the road in Iraq.
A little busy.
A little different than Wapple vomiting all over the bathroom at Pickle Pete's Bar in White Bear Lake or wherever the hell you were at.
It was Miller's.
For sure.
What was that, Wapple?
It was Miller's on Main.
Miller's on Main.
Yeah, Lino.
Still have Wapple vomit stains on the floor of the men bath. Well, and in your wife's submission, and don't take that the wrong way. When your wife nominated you, she mentioned you joined while you were still in high school.
Yep. Yeah, I joined when I was 17. I actually wasn't even old enough to sign the paperwork. I had to have my mother sign the paperwork just so I could enlist.
You were that certain that you wanted to take that path, and you had to wait till you turned 18 to officially sign the documents, or what?
Well, back then I was young and dumb, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I wasn't getting good grades and stuff. So it was kind of one of those things. I was like, this seems like a good opportunity, and I'm glad I did. Like, everything about it, the last 20 years, matured me, and the discipline I got from it. And I think it's a good thing for everyone to experience.
God help us. I considered it, but I had so many doubts. I was so lazy, Josh. I was so lazy.
You can't be that.
No.
And maybe they'd whip you into shape.
Other Josh, my life partner Josh over here, we've had this conversation on the air a few times about how we both considered it. I don't remember, Josh, your final thoughts on it when you were a young guy, but I told myself there's just no way I could hack it.
Well, I really wanted to do it, but there were some concerns about me with epilepsy, even though I wasn't quite diagnosed at that time. But when they were asking my parents about it, that was one of the concerns. So, and then the cowardice. They brought up the cowardice. That came up quite a bit. But we had, was it the same thing? So they came to your school?
Came to high school all the time.
And then they come to your house? Like, they came to our house a couple times?
We never went that far with having them over at the house.
Yeah, I remember just sitting around the dining room table with, different branches that we had over, and my folks kind of listening to everything. And
I had terrible grades too, And Josh, Keener, I was going to ask, you already answered a question that I had in mind, the idea that you signed up so young. I was going to ask you, what, I mean, you told us you ended up feeling like it was the right decision. So maybe you haven't answered this question. What would you tell a young person right now that, might be considering going down the same path that you did?
I think you can't make a mistake making that decision. I think it's always a good decision. Honestly, I think everyone, if are able to, should just to have that experience, even if it's a few years, because some soldiers come in for a couple years and then they're out, and some come in for 10 years and they're out, and it's just a good experience. And it's crazy because I've been in for more than half my life, so it was kind of hard to even come to that point to retire at 20. But there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on in the last few years that it was just time to hang up the hat, and I appreciate everything that I've done with all my soldiers. And I want to give a shout out to all the soldiers at the 34th MP Company and the 257 MP Company. Both were homes to me during that 20-year tenure.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Josh, you seem like a heck of a guy. Tell that wife to straighten up, for Christ's sake.
What's going on? What's going on with that?
I never tell her to straighten up or calm down. Worst thing ever.
Smart man.
Thank your wife, Liz, for nominating you, because we've had a fun time talking to you. And that's what this is all about, just kind of getting to know some folks out there. So have a great weekend. Josh Keener, 20 years in the Army National Guard. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. I appreciate the time, and I appreciate Liz giving me this opportunity by nominating me. So,
thanks for listening. Absolutely wonderful. And thank you very much to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, the other ones setting all this up. Josh Keener, what a heck of a guy.
Yeah, this has been fun. I'm glad we get a chance to do this every Friday.
The cowardice, you said.
That was a red flag.
That's usually not what they're looking for, no.
I know, Nick, we share so many things, and both of us wish we would have went into the trades or had those skills. And to this day, somebody was just asking me, like, what would you without radio? It's like, I'd love to go into the trades, but I don't think they'd have me.
I certainly could have greatly benefited from either.
Yeah, and
going into the trades as a young guy or going into the service.
I wish that I had that experience.
I don't regret what I've done with my life completely, but I there's not a doubt in my mind it would have done me a great service to have been involved in either.
I know both of us come from military families, and I wish I would have carried that on. I wish I would have had that experience. Now, that being said, I'm saying someone that wishes that it was in my past. I don't know that I could do something like that now.
Oh, my God.
Imagine how much we'd be kicked around.
If I saw, are you talking about if we signed up for the armed forces today?
Today.
2 words for you. Friendly fire.
That's right. Operation Human Shield. Math tutor Jesus texted in to wish a happy 80th birthday to his old man. He said he denies he's a war hero, but he is. Yeah, he got the Purple Heart and a Silver Star in Vietnam. You're a war hero.
Oh!
You're a war hero. Happy 80th birthday to you. Happy birthday, Old Balls, a.k.a. Arnie, from your brother, 2 sets of twins, Jesus. Happy birthday to Ellery, turning the big 08 today from Mom, our friend ex-Hotel Jesus. And then happy 22nd anniversary to Vertically Challenged Jesus and former